Thank you, Lemon, for that tier 1 sub. Thank you, Trish, for that 6-month subbage. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Realms of Awakened Essence RPG, Season 8, Episode 13, Part 1 of our season finale. Wait, what? What's going on? Oh, thank you for extending, Lemon Twist. Oh, thank you. We hope you enjoy the season finale of Season 8, Part 1. And... oh, that's mine. It's a 3D animated asset from PowerPoint, apparently. Well, I believe there's some action happening in our campaign, so let's bring in our cast and crew and have them introduce themselves. Hhello. How's everyone
Hello,
doing?
my dear children.
Hello. Ah,
Greetings, everyone.
What are you
I'm
doing
bouncing
on
on a trampoline.
Where did you get the trampoline? Where does he get these wonderful toys?
I found it.
He found it in the toilet.
Hey.
Let's stay on script, please.
Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna move this
Script?
room.
What
What do you mean you're
script?
gonna? Ah! Someone moved the trampoline. Ow!
I did. It was a wonderful toy.
Hey.
Alright, can we have the technicians please remove the various props from the set now? Thank you. Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Realms. I am Dracathio Vergath. I play a dwarf, and you may know me as maybe a werewolf too, but we will determine that later.
That's a later problem.
Yes, I'm gonna hand it off to, why don't we hand it off this way? To
All
our
right.
lovely, definitely certified kobold.
Definitely.
Excuse me, sorry. I am Chris, otherwise known as Pi 3, and I will be playing Dr. Vess, attending Kobold Physician
At law.
at Law,
Sorry, I had to.
LLC.
LLC.
Oh.
Sorry.
I will now pass it upwards to the Dragonborn.
Hello. I am Oldwin. And also Heartstrong Tooth here, Oldwin's brother, aka me. And of course, I'm controlled from Gearbox. Hello. I also control Dark Matter. That's like my third character I control most often. But yeah, we got next person. Who do I pass it off to? I'm gonna pass it over to. I'm gonna throw this mic. Someone catch it. Yeah.
As the mic just hits the floor.
The floor got it. Floor, take it away.
And the floor doesn't say a word.
I'll pick up the mic then, since the floor won't say anything. Hello, everyone. I am Mag, and I play the now gloriously beautiful Moogie, who's somehow magically been transformed into an Azamar for whatever purpose, I have no idea. I also play the crazy, psychotic, super demon witch lady Leilana, but she's not here right now. She's in a different dimension, causing havoc to some poor innocent family on the other side of the world. I will pass it off to.
Don't worry, it's in our job description.
I'm gonna pass it off to. Well, I can only pass it off to one person, it appears, and that would be our storyteller.
He's hot in mid-chew.
Good job. Yes, the master of inconvenience.
I will inconvenience everyone.
Thank you, Lemon. Yes, the storyteller
this is how we know
is
Leilana's
not
turned evil.
unsettling. Yes.
What did Lemon say?
Welcome, my friends. I am your storyteller. Oh, wait. Sorry, I am your storyteller. Trisha Welsh. I play many characters. Many characters.
So many characters.
You don't want to look behind
For this game, for
backstage.
this one,
There's too much paperwork backstage in terms of character sheets.
Not my fault.
That's why she has a curtain, folks, to hide all the paperwork.
All the paperwork.
Continue.
damn it, I've lost one. I've lost a character. Ah, I did. Wow. Let me just go ahead and.
It's under the
repull that character.
pile number 3 in prop section 4.
Sorry,
No.
I gotta run
No.
away real quick. I got my breakfast.
Ooh. So welcome to this. What could be the last 4 episodes of this wonderful group that we've been doing for what has it been now? At least a year.
It's been approximately 3 years since we started.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, since we started streaming.
Yes.
Streaming's been at least a year. Yeah.
No, more than that.
Probably more. Yeah. Probably more
Yeah.
like 2.
2.5.
Are we sure about that?
Let's
I'm
just say
looking
3 for saving grace.
Yes.
Okay.
So, who wants to
As I
read
go
the
and look it
opening
up,
intro?
like the impulsive person that I am.
Mhm.
Who wants to read
Sorry.
the opening intro for our 4-part season finale?
Mhm.
I mean, we could have her in
Shall I
mid-
read the recap then?
Go right ahead. Previously.
Bahamut gives Mugi his life back, and Lady Mary gets the staff she was holding blessed by the Dragon God. Lady Mary and Mugi return to the rest of the group. In Aya's hometown, the group decides what to do. They hear about the residents being made into mine-out crystals as slaves, and they decide to act. With Mugi now transformed into an Azamar, he suggests that he, Rags, and Gabriel go and scout out the top of the volcano, while the others try and sneak in. When Mugi sneaks at the top of the volcano to discover an ancient red dragon living there. Ooh, tingly. The red dragon wants the flesh eat before they get to him, or he will take them all out. Mugi and this dragon make a deal. At that is going the rest of the group get themselves captured and led down to start their work. Jack starts a revolution among the workers. When they get to the bottom of the volcano, they see Mugi quietly killing the guards. Ooh, exciting. The rest of the group finish killing them as the workers fight back. They all see a crystal that could power up their ship. What will happen? Tune in to this episode of Realms of Awakened Essence.
Also, folks, stay tuned after this episode for a very short introduction for one of our new characters for season 9,
I believe in you.
aka campaign 2. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after the opening intro. Stay tuned.
all around us like flowers unfurled. One body, one mind, fighting for that last moment in time. We are heroes pushing back against the dark, making way for a brand new start. Here in these realms where the essence grows, making a new path for the light as it grows. Whatever the struggle, together we fight. Stand up to fight now, it is to our time.
Huh.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry, we were discussing other things.
Reminiscing.
Wait, give me a second. I need to take my plate out. Wait. Gotta speed.
Where's the,
Speed run.
Go ahead.
so, as our wonderful narrator said, all of you see in this magnificent ancient red dragon's hoard a crystal that
back.
you know will power the ship, and it's part of his hoard.
Cool.
So, what do you all do?
Wait, are we just here and we see it? We're just looking at it?
You've effectively cleared out the people outside, which is what he wanted. Or
You
what?
probably still hear some
I
distant
was gonna
shouting
say,
up
is
at
the
the
dragon
top.
still here? Because that might influence what we do next.
Yes, the dragon is still here.
So where is the dragon at exactly?
Leave us unattended with his horde, huh?
No, he's not going to leave you unattended with his hoard.
He's looking at us. He's staring at us.
He is he is a ancient red dragon, which that means he is very, very large.
Very large.
Where is he right now? Is he sitting on his hoard? Is he?
He's kind of wrapped around it. He's not exactly sitting on it. Most of the hoard has been pushed kind of closer to where he more effectively protected, other than directly underneath him. There is some stuff still underneath, but he's pushed most of it like around his form.
We're all in this chamber with him, right?
Because he invited you in.
Cathio has led
Nice.
the rioting party of like guards.
So he's not here.
He's up there, but he's coming back down the spiral.
Right.
Come join the party. Yep.
Well, great one, we have done as you have requested, and fulfilled our part of the bargain.
You have. You hear this low rumbling. He's a little pissed off, but he's thinking in the back of his mind, "What am I going to do? These people helped me." Kind of a kind of a thing. Now that you have helped me, is there some sort of boon, gift, something
Cathio
that I
around
might
sitting
be able to
there
help you
behind.
with?
Well,
Maybe.
I do have a trade offer to make you.
A trade offer? Do go on.
Something of equal or perhaps more value for an object among your hoard.
All just sitting there nervously in the
My
background.
fellow party members here require a very powerful crystal to power the source of their vessel. And that crystal there beneath your paw is perfect.
Never thought of a
But
dragon
I
having a paw.
I understand that it's a valuable item among your hoard, and I'm prepared to trade you something of greater value for it.
Indeed. What is it that you would like to trade for this very valuable thing among my hoard?
Can the dragon roll a perception check to see if he can
Yes,
see
he
the
can, 'cause I
handle?
pulled up those stats.
The handle on my back that's mysteriously just slightly out of sight.
Hmm. Let's see. That is a 25.
But he
25.
can see it.
Yes, he can.
He's going to pull the handle out from its sheath and hold it
Uh-huh.
up. I offer you my weapon in trade.
Why would you be offering a weapon that you might need?
Because the crystal is needed more.
Hmm.
And I am not without other weaponry. I do have my fist, after all.
You'd be impressed at how destructive he can be in any of his forms.
Quiet,
that's
you.
fair.
Tricathio just nods, like in acknowledgement of that statement.
So, do we have a deal, Ancient One? If
I
you
would
need
like.
a demonstration, I can do that.
Hold on to that thought. Do any of you, and he looks at the rest of you, have any requests?
Oldwin looking around. Hearth just sitting there with his arms crossed.
Tricathio's looking around, and he does have an idea in mind. I will message you.
Okay.
Oh, great. You're not going to seduce the dragon, are you?
Do it, I
Actually,
dare
I-
you. Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that Mookie didn't.
I only have a +3 to my charisma roll. I'm not that skilled.
Okay.
I've got a request, although it may be
Yes.
more of a
Yes,
a
small one.
negotiation. So the local townsfolk were press ganged into intruding on this territory.
I'm aware.
I would like to make the case that it is eminently beneficial to you to let them leave free, and as long as they agree to remain away from your territory, you will leave their town unharmed.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh god, I feel like this is gonna fail.
I'm actually good at persuasion. Oh, let me roll in the new thing.
Roll in the new thing.
I don't think I get to roll persuasion very often.
No,
I'm usually
you don't.
lying.
But you're trying to. Well, I know what you're trying to do. Yep.
See if I can make this work. No, I guess it doesn't. Command doesn't work there. All right, I'm just gonna roll here like I normally do. So I couldn't figure that out before the stream. 23.
23.
Doing a persuasion, he would be doing an insight check. What is insight? Oh, that's wisdom.
I mean, 23 is good.
Come
but
on,
this-
Discord, quit being a butt.
He looks at you. Says, "Well, I already had a agreement with the people of this good town that if they left me alone, I would leave them alone. I already have enough things around me that I don't
fair
need
enough.
to
There's
take from them."
nothing in that paltry town that would possibly add, that would do anything but tarnish your hoard.
That is true.
So I guess that what I'm asking for is that you don't hold the town responsible for this intrusion. They're not the ones that are responsible for it. They were forced here.
I am well aware that they were forced.
Okay, but I
reasonable dragon.
I want to put it in writing that they're not liable.
I see what you're doing. You want to create a paper trail.
Yes, yes.
Moogie is gonna look at Vest with this really like half closed, half opened eye look. Like, have you lost your damn mind? This is an ancient red. You're asking a lot for such a simple thing.
How about this? I will have my assistant write something up. And and
Aldwin's just like, what are you doing?
I'll leave and Gabrielle will appear with like a parchment.
Gabrielle appears in kind of a what you would imagine a secretary would look like with glasses, with a parchment.
Moogie's gonna squat down and just like put his hand on his face. Like, oh my god, what the hell?
Hearth's just like, Vast.
While they're drawing up that agreement, Ancient One, can we make that trade now?
I have not yet heard all of the requests yet.
Dracathio steps forward and he pulls off his leather gauntlet glove, and you can see like this bony kind of like finger on his ring finger. There's a signet ring that he has on there that's from Anthem that none of you have ever seen before. This is the first time he's shown it. It's very ornate and very elegant, and he pulls it off his stubby little ring finger and holds it up and says, in exchange for this signet ring from Anthem, from my ancestral home, I'd like to request 40 platinum pieces for a project I am working on in that city. If this is a valuable trade, this signet ring is worth twice that amount. It is forged from my great ancestors, many generations back, passed down through generations.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Persuasion check, okay. Let me get into the...
Oh, the persuasion check.
Yes.
All right. Let me see. In character Buckman. $ roll. How do I do this again? I'm trying to do this. Roll persuasion, right?
Exclamation point D20 plus
I'm
your
trying to roll it with
persuasion.
Avery. Who knows how to
Oh,
do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out how to do a skill roll.
Okay, I'll just
I
do.
hate to admit.
I'll do it in the
'Cause
character
A
thing.
A is short for attack. C is short for casting a spell. I don't know what skills are.
That
or
is
saves.
a 7. Damn it.
Oh no. If you want, Aldwin can help with his like plus 10 persuasion.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Aldwin sees you're like kind of screwing up a little bit, and he just
Yeah.
quickly, hesitantly looks, and he quickly steps in. Not sure what he would really say, or maybe he's just trying to back you up here.
Yeah.
He is bardic, so he could be like
Oh,
He's
thank
also
you, Evil.
Dragonborn.
and Dragonborn.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, have the Dragonborn work with the dragon.
Like he's trying to like sweeten the deal
Yeah.
by words,
Mm-hmm.
by his big words.
Yep.
Oh, give me a second. I'm being called.
It's okay.
It's all right.
Yep. So he's kind of like holding up the ring, just kind of like
Okay, I'm back.
letting the dragon kind
Okay,
of look at it.
so what was your
I'm about to roll for him.
Yep.
But Aldwin just quickly steps in, like, I don't. He doesn't even know what it really is, but he's trying to make it sound as good as he can.
I know.
I like the idea that slightly makes you think. Actually, no. It's depending how good he rolls here. But if he rolls
okay.
good,
Hang on a second. Are you helping Dracathio?
either he's either helping or he's rolling for himself. Well, rolling to like sweeten the deal, like for himself, well, his own words.
Well, that would be considered the help action.
That's an
Yeah.
assist.
If you're helping somebody else, and if you're doing that, then Drac over there gets an advantage.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm not sure if he can save himself from that really bad roll.
Just roll.
Okay, I'll roll and see what I get here. A 21.
Okay, so I re-roll again or no?
No, you
Okay. Yep.
didn't have to roll Alduin.
Well, I was told
Uh,
to roll, so
Sorry, my bad.
conflicting messages.
Okay, when someone gets advantage, the person who's doing the rolling and has already rolled once, you get to roll again.
Yeah.
I.e., Drag gets to roll again. You don't have to do a
Got
thing
it.
because you're helping.
So
Does that
I
make
will
sense?
roll again.
Yeah.
There we go.
I was curious what kind of roll he would
That
get
is
anyways.
a 16.
He narrows his eyes at you, Drag.
Yep.
Very interesting. So, what I'm hearing so far is one of you is willing to give up their weapon for this crystal that I have before me. Another one of you is negotiating that I, Glowtail, do not take out my anger on the village, on the town that's grown up around my volcano. And another one of you wants to give up his ring for some financial stability.
Drac nods.
Anyone else?
Aldwin looks over to Hearth, but Hearth just kind of just shakes his head. Okay.
All of you hear very quiet, very small, quiet shuffling from the back, kind of wandering up to the front. It's Rags.
Rags.
And Rags kind of I've everybody. I'm not even making you roll a perception check. She is a bucket of sweat.
She's sweating.
She is so scared of this dragon. Like, you can see her hyperventilating. You can see, as I said, she's a bucket of sweat. She's just not having this. But she looks like she's brought up she swallowed her fear and doing this bravely. Um, oh, great dragon. Um, I just have a small request. Um, the place that these people come from, their capital city, we believe has been taken over. Um, um, if we ask, do you think you might be able to? I don't know. Maybe help us, provide air support. I'm going to do a few rolls myself here.
Rolling against yourself because you're the DM.
Yeah, and persuasion is not her strong suit. Trust me. Does anybody want to help her?
I'll
Drukathia
help.
will
Oh, okay, go ahead.
assist because he
let's
has a
have
plus
Drac
5.
happen.
He says, we do have reason to believe that the same people who enslaved the townsfolk in this town that were oppressed and forced to invade your home may be involved, and we'd like to rid them from this land entirely. The oppressors, that is.
And he looks down and he nods. You make an interesting argument, little one. This is my decision. And my judgment. I will sign this lovely piece of paper to create a paper trail for you. I will give money to you, good dwarf.
Drukathia just kind of smiles, but very subtly, like in agreement.
And to you, mighty Asimar. This crystal.
Moogie perks up.
This crystal, while it is one of my many treasures, it is not one of my favorite ones. So I do not have any problems giving this up to this cause. I have heard of your capital city being taken over by something that's unnatural. And the way he says unnatural, it's clear that he has disdain for it, but I will do one more thing. In response to this little one, if you should need it, I will come and take out these interlopers.
Dracathio
Ooh.
pipes in and says, "By what means shall we, if needed, be able to contact you?"
Ah, yes. And you see him, as I said, this is a hoard filled with gems, jewels. And as I pointed out to Vess, there are some things that are radiating magic, just too many to even try to identify. And he reaches over with his humongous claw. You see him pick through with one of his claws. Pick through. Ah, this is what I am looking for. He picks up 2 stones, and they are stones. And he hands one to you, Drac. This is what is known as a sending stone.
I am familiar.
I have the other one. If you should need it, speak your message. I will confirm. Ah!
Well, it's probably okay.
I will confirm and go. As to you two giving up things for the items you requested, dear dwarf, I have more rings than I can count. Keep your ring.
Oh.
And and again, another kind of a pinch at this point. He reaches over and he plucks up a sack. Poop.
Money for
Alright.
you.
Money for you.
How much is in it, just so I can...
It's the amount you request.
Okay.
And to you, fine Asimar, since you originally came into this and fulfilled your side of the bargain, keep your weapon. And again, he gestures to the crystal. You may take the crystal.
Moogie spreads his wings and floats up to grab the crystal.
Mhm.
Because it's obviously a huge pile of gold and silver and gems and shit.
Gotta
Yep.
block it out.
Now
Did you say the
that
crystal was attached to a sword?
no,
Okay.
no, it's freestanding. It's just it was sitting on a pedestal.
So he sheathed his weapon handle back into its holster.
Mhm.
Mighty Red, I do have one thing left to say.
Then say it.
Well, not me, but someone else.
Mhm.
I'll let him speak through me.
Hmm.
What is that?
His eyes flare. A brilliant, beautiful white color.
Dracathio kind of steps back a little bit, like he knows probably what's about to happen.
Oh, yeah.
But
I'm
like,
gonna
he's
say
like,
it.
oh great. But he doesn't say anything.
Everyone needs to roll a Constitution saving throw for what's gonna happen.
Oh, come
Oh,
on!
Lord. Thank you.
No!
The only ones who don't need to roll are those who are airborne. Those on the ground are gonna need to,
Which is everybody.
except for Moogie because he's airborne.
Yep.
Yep.
Drac.
Yep. Yep.
Drac
So
falls
this is
flat on his ass.
a con saving throw.
Yep.
Lord.
That's a 13 from Drag.
Whoa, dang!
Yeah,
Oh.
Drax gonna fail.
That's a 12 for Aya.
Natural 20 for
Aya's gonna
Nice.
in the
fail.
in-character chat.
Okay,
too.
yeah, you'll be able to stand up.
Oldwin rolled a 16 and Hearth rolled a 20.
Okay, Hearth and Vest are gonna be able to stand up.
What about Oldwin?
Unfortunately,
Rags
rest
is
of you-
gonna Rags is gonna fall because that was a 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
the entire cavern booms with a thunderous voice coming
on,
from
I've got-
Moogie's mouth.
I've got one more person, and that's
Oh,
Shazon.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
That's a 19.
Okay, Shazon's able to stand up.
Yeah. Okay.
The entire cavern booms with the dragon god's voice.
Oh, him.
Bahamut is speaking through Moogie.
Oh, come on.
Go ahead.
Great Red, I thank you for assisting my protege in this task. My blessings upon you for this act.
You see, you hear the dragon snort, and you see, two wisps of smoke coming out of the dragon's nose. What do you want of me, Bahamut? You know I do not answer to you.
I want nothing of you, young Red. I am congratulating you on assisting my protege and thanking you for it. You have my blessings as a result.
You hear the snort.
Just roll with it.
And you also and everybody sees a very slight nod coming from this particular red dragon.
Now, the rest of you be on your way. You have work to do. And like that, the light just winks out of his eyes, just snap, and it's gone. Moogie kind of shakes his head like, I hate it when he does that.
You made the whole place shake. Oldwin says while staggering a little bit.
Great
Tricathia gets up.
Asimar, I did not know that you were connected to Bahamut, and it's the way he says it. Moogie, you recognize that particular tone?
No fun.
It's not really a connection I'm too proud of. After all, I've done my fair share of big no-nos in his mind. Suffice to say, I have interfered in the lives of mortals more times than I can count, and Bahamut was not thrilled at my actions. But our business is concluded, and I will I will depart.
At this word, Tricathio is finally standing on his two digi-grade legs, taps a couple buttons on his wrist and says, "Computer," looks around the room and counts the number of occupants. 1, 2, I don't know how many there are, but like,
Everybody hears 1, 2, many.
yep.
Area-
He
area
just
theme.
says party to beam out +1 object. Large object.
No. Absolutely not.
He's about to push the
Take
button,
the
and
crystal.
he looks, and he's like, "Oh, okay."
I have new wings. I'm flying back to the ship. Take the crystal and go. And with that, he swoops out of into the hallway and flies off toward the
Well,
exit.
There he goes. Oldwin says.
And everybody hears Rex. Can we please get out of here? I'm very, very uncomfortable.
Yes,
Tricathio
yes, we're
scoops him
going.
up.
And I'd like to leave.
Tricathio scoops up Rags onto his shoulders and basically
Yeah.
picks up the bag, tries to lug the crystal under his arm, but it's too big. And says,
Hearth
"Someone
goes-
else is gonna have to carry that. I'm sorry."
You need someone to pick that up.
Yes,
Hearth says
please.
we're looking at it and goes, okay, then. He says, we'll just go, "Huh?"
Yeah.
hauling it up over his shoulder.
And
Let's get out of here.
Tricathio just starts walking towards the door, turns and looks to the Great Red and says, "Thank you, Great One. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yay.
And then he walks out.
And you see this great this ancient dragon nod his head, and all of you leave.
Mhm.
Where
We
are you
are-
going?
We are going up the spiral, like catacombs in the mines, to the main entrance, which is basically now on fire and burning.
Well, it's
The
not.
gate.
You as you
Well.
guys are walking up the
Yeah.
spiral,
Mhm.
you do see it's been carnage. The workers, the townsfolk, basically did a good job. They looked like that they were fed up with what was going on with them. And they go all the way up, and now what? You're now at the entrance of this particular mine.
We're leaving to the
He's gonna
ship.
walk towards
I imagine.
the carriage that was there.
Yeah, it's well, no, actually, the carriage is left.
The carriage is left, and he says, "Ah, darn it, a ride left." Okay,
We're gonna have to walk.
We've done everything we need to do here, right?
I believe so.
That's-
He looks around and sees all like the various bodies of like the
You do hear
Guards.
general celebration happening down in the
Yeah.
village,
Yep.
in
Well,
the town.
we're good.
the various fireworks going off and stuff like that down there.
Those guys think they were so hot stuff, but then they easily get overrun. Kind of funny.
Cathia says, well, come on. We need to get back into town and, I need to get that," points to the crystal, "back in the ship."
Yes. Why do we rely on this big old thing anyways, Captain?
Because it's the only power source in the entire
Mhm.
realms that can power
Hart
it.
says, "Well,
He just
look
goes
at
to this
you."
long-winded explanation of how the ship works and no one's paying attention.
Arthur goes, "Mhm." And that could have been easily solved if you just made a more efficient, smaller, less complicated ship.
I used what I had available.
You made a very large and also very flashy ship. I want you to let that sink in.
Cathia just turns around and looks at him, points a stubby little finger at him, and says, "I'm a dwarf. I am known for my flashiness."
Yes,
Make
but
that
also,
known.
And Rags pipes up and goes, "Damn it, Hearth! He's an engineer, not a doctor." Wait,
it's just
No,
every
the doctor's
time.
over there. He points to like
Yeah.
Vess.
Every time with our ship, if we always have some issue, and it's always because the ship fails or gets shot by something inconveniently. I don't
Or
think
a
you were
certain
thinking where the
individual
vitals
throws a
are.
fireball into the engine compartment.
Cathia
Yeah.
just throws up his meaty fingers and says, "I am sorry if I am not the best captain, the best pilot, the best whatever you want to call it. But I
Ah.
make do with what I have."
Yes, you do. At least I can find your determination at least impressive.
Rag, what is your AC?
My AC is, let me look,
I don't-
16.
I don't like that radius.
I feel like a fight's fixing to happen.
No, it's just what's your AC?
16.
Oh, good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage. Yeah, that's exactly what I just rolled.
From
Wow.
what?
From what?
Well,
Yep.
everybody else, roll me a perception check.
Well,
Bullets.
aside from Moogie, because he's not with the party.
Yeah, aside from Moogie.
Moogie is currently having a blast in the sky flying around.
Like, I can fly!
Switch!
Well, Oldwin wasn't looking, obviously.
Obviously.
Actually, no, I don't think that was
Evansville,
Oldwin. That wasn't Oldwin, that was Hearth. Hearth wasn't looking.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, Oldwin actually has a +6 in his perception. Ah, Oldwin sees it. 25.
Rag saw it.
What was it?
hang on.
Yeah.
I'm wanting everybody else to roll.
I only rolled a 7.
Dracathio does not have to roll, right?
Yeah, he's the
I
one
mean,
being hit.
Yeah.
Noticed it.
Shazon didn't see it. What did Vess roll?
Just a 7.
Okay, yes, the Vess didn't see it. Okay, so everybody except Vess and Moogie, obviously.
Mhm.
Drac, you feel this.
He's like rubbing the back of his head, like, okay, who just
No,
hit
actually,
me?
it hits you straight on the face.
What is it?
He falls over backward.
What you see is a boomerang,
What the?
Just
and it's coming back.
Alduin goes, "Whoa! What the?"
Dracathio just like gets up, rolls over, grabs his great axe, and says, "Arm yourselves."
And as it's coming back, it misses.
Drac is gonna arm himself with his great axe
Arthur goes, "What happened? I didn't see it because he rolled a 2."
and says, "Someone is trying
Arthur
to play
says,
with us."
What?
And
was a boomerang.
you hear a female laugh.
I don't like this. Arth says.
Of course, someone is playing with you. Hi.
Who is that?
Well, you're busy flying.
Do you see anybody?
Yeah, actually, you do.
Okay.
A tiefling, female tiefling.
Oh no, not again.
Yes, again.
Not you.
Get her.
No.
Just kind of standing there. Hello, you're new. Pointing to Hearth. Oh.
What says I'm new? He says while crossing his arms.
Well, the last time I believe I saw you, you were a talkative glove.
He says while like tapping his foot, and Alduin's slightly shivering behind him.
Where is your I know you have him. Where is the one day Tamuki? I so want to meet him.
That's none of your business right now, Arth says.
Oh, but it is. I want to meet all. I've wanted to meet all of you. Make sure you are all in one place.
I don't like the wording of that one.
You just missed him.
Mookie,
Sorry.
where are you?
Moogie is up in the clouds right now, flying back to where the ship's at.
So you have no idea what this particular conversation is going on.
No, he is way the hell up in the air.
Are we still like underground, or are we outside?
No,
least?
you guys are
We're
outside.
outside,
Okay.
like in the courtyard area where the
Like he's even with the clouds like silver lining under layer. So
Yeah. Okay.
even
I
if
got
he
it.
looked down, he wouldn't be able to see them at all because he's too high up.
Right. I wanted to make sure that I knew where all of you were in one place.
Like Hearth quickly looks at what he's holding, the very important thing, and thinking, I need to get this out of here.
Ah, I see you have acquired a new crystal. Oh, that is so delicious.
Well, you're not getting it, Hearth says, well, slightly, like, defensively, like, because it's on one shoulder, so he leans that shoulder away from them.
Who said that I wanted to get that?
Well, no one said it, but I'm just assuming. It's only fair to assume at this point. Like, that's how a slight breath and some frosty air comes out of his helmet.
Oh yeah, I know. Hearth, what is your AC?
Hearth AC is 17.
Oh, hey, this hit you.
Oh,
Was
no.
not a crit though. Was not a crit. 16. You please take 16 points of piercing damage.
Ow. Wait, 16 on that.
Where
Oof.
where is the tiefling relative to us? Is she like in our way?
She is. Well, in order to throw said, come on, click. Thank you. In order to throw the boomerang, which you do see at this point, she had to be at least 60 feet away from you.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So-
but is she between us and the ship? Is my concern.
I would
Well,
say yes.
The ship is still in the forest a ways away, so
Yeah, it's ways
Yeah.
away ahead of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, she is between you and the ship because this is not exactly a very wide space. You can't exactly, dance your way around her.
Let's see, I'd like to turn on my detect magic, like Eldritch Sight, detect magic.
Mhm.
Does she have any active spells on her?
Active?
Yes, like anything
Like,
that might be
if she's going to throw one?
more like. Does she have any spells cast on her defensively?
Ah, I see your point. Nope.
I was afraid of that. Shoot. Trying to think what Vess can do here.
Not much. Any rate, as my lovely companion has just demonstrated, since we know where you are, we can get to you at any point. But
That's
have-
a little rude.
I have made sure that he does not kill you outright. I come with a message.
Oh, well, you can give us the message, and then you can leave, and we'll have had a nice time.
That would be preferable for everybody.
Oh, my message is you better hurry and save your precious capital. Something bad might happen to it.
Well, that's not fun.
This is the
No, it isn't,
this
old one.
is the time where Kathy just kind of like you hear this like very low guttural growl.
What is he going to do?
Kathy's not doing anything. He's just pissed that like someone's like messing with his home city.
They're trying to give us a threat, and they're trying to make us hurry. I recommend to let it get under your skin.
question: what
Yes.
would I have to roll to pick up on any kind of vibes below me?
That would be a perception check.
Okay.
I was tempted to like try to get Moogie's attention just that way.
My
Well, there
perception-
is. Okay. I'm going to DM you something. Bye.
Okay. All right.
Oh, there's something he can use to get my attention.
There was
This
one
is-
thing I could think of offhand, but
This is gonna be interesting.
oh, really?
Eh,
Um. Ooh. Technically. Okay. Am I able to get a message?
She's not that far away from you because it's
She's
still
not that far away. That's what I was worried about.
It's still 100. It's still 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will tell her to. I will inform her of our situation and that air support would be useful.
She is sending, as you're sending that message to her, she is sending some very naughty pictures back.
Oh no! I love it.
Bess is gonna say
Not
this
the
out
time
loud,
for
like
60 time.
out
Uh-huh.
loud, like non sequiturs, like, "Yes, Gabrielle, I know."
I love it. It's just like text messages, and just after a few seconds, just please stop.
She's just spamming him with emoji at this point.
No.
Yeah, you're getting a lot of the
Eggplant emojis.
eggplant.
Sweat emojis.
Yeah.
And the
Uh,
O-face emojis.
I will still have you roll a perception, but it's for something completely different, Mookie.
Alright, because my perception sucks.
No.
I forgot about
Yeah.
that. She would totally do that in this.
My perception sucks ass.
Well,
Oh, but I did roll a 19, so that's good.
yeah.
Alright.
So what you feel, Mookie? You're flying around. You having a great time. You toy with the idea that you might buzz the town. Not like get down low to the town, but kind of fly over it.
Fly
So
through the
yes, it
fireworks
was me that
explosion.
saved your town. Kind of a. You have that inkling, and you hear in your ear a small pixie voice. Mookie, I do believe that your friends need air support.
Mookie stops dead in the air, like flapping. Who the hell said that?
Oh, it's me, Gabrielle. And she appears in front of you.
He cranes his head a little bit. Oh, Gabrielle. What seems to be the problems?
It seems that one of our enemies / we don't know what side this particular person is on, is blocking the way of our friends getting back to the ship.
What? Shoulder now.
Yes, sir. And you see her get onto your shoulder and just kind of.
Gabrielle sees him draw the handle out from its sheath. The blade just ignites blue fire. Which
Oh,
way,
boy.
Gabrielle?
And she points. Kind of back the way you came. Yeah.
Like a sonic boom, he takes off.
Mm-hmm.
I think she has to hold on, so Gabrielle better roll a strength check to hold on.
Dexterity
Oh,
saving
Lord.
throw.
Oh Lord. Oh God.
For her if you want, but I can tell you right now, she's probably gonna fail it.
What is
Well-
her strength? Because I rolled.
Her strength is a 3, and when I say it's a 3, that's the score, not the modifier. So her modifier is -4.
Oh dear.
That's a 10.
So she rolled a what? A
I
6?
rolled a 14 and I took
you rolled a
4
14,
off of
so she
that.
rolled a
Yeah,
10.
yeah, that was a 10.
Admirable considering.
I can just imagine a little tiny pixie's like cheeks flapping in the wind. She's desperately trying to.
Actually, she is smiling like a loon because she thinks this is the most wonderful thing ever.
While her cheeks are flapping in the wind.
And Vess, you are getting images of her being in complete bliss.
Okay. Oh shoot! While this is happening, Vess is gonna step forward,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna be like, "Okay, look, we know that some really important people sent you. We don't want any trouble with them, okay? We're just trying to get our ship fixed so we can leave. I want to use my. This is the first time I'm using it. I want
What?
to use my kobold groveling,
Okay.
and I'm specifically trying to distract her long enough for. Because I think I give advantage.
So what do you have to roll?
Once per
Okay.
short rest as an action, you can cower to distract foes until the end of your next turn. Allies
Oh,
gain advantage
yeah.
on attacks against enemies within 10 feet of you. So I'm
Yeah.
going to advance to her,
Mhm.
and like specifically like cowering and looking like I'm panicked.
Mhm.
And I basically want to get within 10 feet, and I want to give Moogie's like strike advantage as a result.
All right. Let's.
Look, we don't want any trouble, okay? We just needed to fix the ship so we can get out of here.
All right. Well, this is only going to affect the person in front. Just,
Fair enough. Yeah,
oh,
there's. I figured. I don't think I'm not sure we even know where the other person is or how many there are. So.
Nope,
Yeah.
you don't. Okay, Moogie,
Yep.
you've taken out your weapon. You are doing a dive bomb, are you not?
Yeah. He is flying straight towards their area, and basically he's kind of like dipped down, but he's like leveled out, so where he's flying straight at them.
Okay. I'll let you get your attack or your action off first.
Well, I gotta get in close before I can actually do my attack,
Oh,
though.
How far away are you?
I don't know. I was at the town, so where are they at?
They're up at the top, where it comes out. The bottom entrance. That's where they
Oh,
are.
so he was really close then.
Yeah.
You're not that the town and where the volcano are a
Okay.
good distance away from each other.
So let me roll a perception check. Oh, wait, did I already roll that perception check?
You rolled
I
it
see?
you rolled it to notice Gabrielle. You can roll another
Okay.
one now.
I want to roll another one to see if I can see exactly where they are while I'm flying headlong in that direction.
Okay.
And I rolled a 2, so I cannot see where they are.
So I
Oh,
feel
you
like-
can see figures down there, but other than that, it's a blur. You're flying a little too fast.
He's going to slow down just a little bit.
Okay. Now you can see your friend. You see a tiefling. I forgot how I described her the last time, and I didn't put in the description. Rat. She's kind of. Her hair is kind of blonde, but it's like two-toned. It's in pigtails, but it's two-toned. She still has the horns. She is wearing a dress, but it's kind of torn in different places, and you're seeing the back of her.
Gabrielle, which one?
The one with pigtails. Her name is Amy, by the way. She's crazy. I swear she's crazy.
Gabrielle hears a light snarl come from Moogie.
Bookie, what are you going to do?
I suggest you hold on tight.
Okay. And
Buckle
the
up.
expression has gone to I love this to oh
He is going to roll to attack this tiefling.
go ahead.
Oh, you get advantage.
Yes, you do. You get
I
advantage.
get 2. I technically get 2 because of my strength modifier, right? This is a
Uh,
strength roll.
No.
Well,
You
strength just
get-
adds to it, I think.
The strength just adds to it. The how many times you can attack is how high of level you are. You are a.
Well, I get attacked 2 times because of my weapon.
You get to do that anyway.
Yeah, I think that might be a class feature for you.
No. How? What level are you?
Level 20, I think. Yeah, I'm a barbarian level 20.
Okay. You're a barbarian level 20.
Goliath barbarian. Technically, that's
Technically.
what my character sheet. But yeah, but I'm an Azamar, so I'll have to fix that.
It kind of doesn't matter.
No. Okay, so I'm rolling with my strength modifier, right? To hit.
Well, to hit, what are you hitting with?
I'm
Your-
hitting
your-
with Belfring the Justice.
God.
Or do I roll? Do I
Yeah,
just
It's-
do a dry roll with my hit DC?
It would
Weapon.
be a d20 plus your strength plus your proficiency. If Belfrang has a bonus, you can add that.
Belfring's hit DC is plus 13.
Okay, that for your,
Jesus.
that's probably your. Well, that's probably your total.
Ah.
That's got to be your total. So that's probably the total of your strength bonus, your proficiency, and Belfrang.
No, that's just the weapon itself.
It's Belfrang.
Yeah, that's Belfring's base hit DC is plus 13, and
I-
that's
I
that's
guess
that's
it is a
plus
sword
13
from
for both
heaven.
hits, because
It
the
is
weapon
a
can attack twice.
Yes, it is a sword. It is. Yes.
All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and roll. Okay, that is a
Massive.
I think at this point, giving you advantage was just thematic.
16. Okay, so 16 plus 13. Math. That's 6 and 3 is 9. Drop the 9, carry the 1. That's 31?
To hit? This is your first hit, isn't it?
Hang on. Let me add that up because my brain went.
Go ahead.
Alright, so 6 and 3 is 9. Carry the 1. No, not carry the 1. No, so it's just 1 plus 1. So 29 to hit. And what was the advantage you gave me?
That just means you can roll again and take the highest d20.
Okay, I'm gonna stick with 29 then.
Yes,
That's pretty good.
You do get 2 attacks because it's a part of your level. I was looking that up while you were doing math. Yay! In concert. So yes, you can hit twice. So that was 29.
29 to hit, yes.
You hit. Wow,
Alright,
did
so
you hit?
1d8 plus 19. I'm going to use the bot to roll this because I'm not doing all those numbers myself.
Gosh darn it. Come on.
1d8 plus 19. And do I have to add anything to this 1d8
No.
plus 19, or is it just base
No.
roll?
It's a base roll.
23 damage.
23?
Yep. So, and I'm going to take my second attack action. So I'm going to twist around.
Yep.
So swing. So mid, so smooth sweep through. Turn around and swing at her head.
Okay.
Okay. So. Oh God!
What did you roll?
17.
And with everything added, that yeah. Oh boy.
Let me add this together. So that's 13. Okay, so 8, 9, 10. Carry the 1. That's 30. So 30. Then. So 30 to hit. So that means it hits. Then I need to do. What is the next one? Let me look at it. I gotta do. Oh God. Okay. Sorry. This is gonna hurt.
Go ahead.
1d.
It hit, so
And
have that high of an armor class.
25 damage, so 25 and 23 is
I got it.
53.
Yeah, I got. Don't worry about it. I got it.
Oops.
Ooh.
Ow!
She's still standing, and she is smiling at this point. And at that moment, what is your AC, Mookie?
Mine is 17.
Yeah, that's a 26.
Did she just attack him?
That's not her. That's not her.
Who attacked him?
And it's 18 points of piercing damage. You can't see. You were
Yeah,
just
they've
attacking
got
her.
ambushers set up at this point, so.
He shrugs off the damage and kind of bellow laughs at her.
Oh, good. You're here. Hello.
I don't think she knows this is Moogie though.
Hello, Mr. M.
How would she know this is Moogie when he's transformed into this Azamar? She's not seen him in a long time. If I'm going on record of what's been said already.
Oh, yeah, very true. That's exactly what Mookie is thinking. And that's what all of you are thinking. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
He hasn't seen him transform, you think.
Weird.
And the way she just called you Mr. M.
This bitch crazy.
She is.
She's sick in the brain.
Oh, good. I hope that these lovely people will relay my message to you. Oh, and about your sister. I hope you rescue her in time. Turtles! And she's out.
You get back here! Harsh shouts while stomping his foot.
Moogie, what do you do?
Before she goes, can I put Hunter's Mark on her?
Nope.
Too late.
He already winked out.
You winked out.
They're trying
If
to make
what
us
I
rush.
know about my sister is true, I don't need to rescue her. She's already lost her mind. What's wrong with Gabriel right now?
Gabriel's going,
Oh no.
Can Gabriel roll a Constitution saving throw?
what,
If
what, is,
anything,
what is their constitution?
I gotta look real quick.
Oh, God. Might not make a
Plus
difference.
0. She doesn't have a bonus or penalty.
Yeah, she rolled a 5.
Okay.
She rolls up a
And she's
bunch
like
of
falling
pixie
over.
dust.
Gus will be like, why don't you take 5? And he'll dismiss her. Or, like, back to her, like.
And there's a little
Dimensional.
puddle of like pixie powder on the ground
Yeah.
where she disappeared. She just hurled.
Oh no. But
She had the ride of her life on Mookie's shoulder.
yes. But Harsh just like goes, okay. I think they're just trying to make us rush. They're trying to make us
Yeah,
go
no.
unprepared.
I mean, we are trying to liberate Anthem. Oh, I think we need to do that.
Yes.
I mean, this
I
may
think
be a trap,
we've been
but-
pussyfooting around. Sorry for the.
Well, yes, but I think they're trying to make us nervous, afraid, and trying to make us rush faster than we have ready time for.
Mookie flares his wings. Who the hell was that, and how did she know about my transformation?
That's unsure. They also knew that I was the
Didn't we?
maniac.
She was one of the witnesses at Vessa's trial, wasn't she?
No, she wasn't.
She was not. Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yes, you were.
Strange.
Cathio
They
just kind of
also
says.
knew that it was, you know, he kind of just like.
Rags will speak up. Her name is Amy. She has demonstrated that she is crazy. Not crazy like your sister crazy, but crazy overall, because the last time she showed up, she actually helped us. And this time she just came to deliver a message? Well, you know, hitting us and you know, and she called you Mr. M. I think she's
She's deranged,
M.
is what that is.
I dislike
Mr.
it.
M.
Old
Mr.
woman
M.
says.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
What?
Oh dear.
What?
Like,
What is it?
oh God. Poor Rags. Poor multi-dimensional Rags.
There, Rex, calm down.
Pretty much.
Oh, why
Pretty
did
much.
she call me Mr. M? That's unusual.
It is unusual. I seem to remember in a completely different universe that there was a person who was just as crazy and had a very bad relationship with a person named Mr. J.
Oh. Well, I dislike that. I don't like that either.
Well, the Mr. J that this particular person was talking about was also very crazy and decided to do one-ton things because it was funny.
Doesn't sound funny to me.
No, it
Awesome
isn't
stuff.
funny to me either. Just
Well, regardless of the situation, let's get back to the ship, put that crystal in it, and get going.
Yeah, let's.
Agreed.
We gotta
I
get going.
certainly hope that your sister is all right.
I could care less about my sister. She's lost her damn mind and gotten into trouble too many times. I'm done with her.
She is still your sister, Moogie.
Regardless, she allowed herself to be captured and turned again? I'm not fooling this time. I'm done.
Well, we
Well,
didn't
wait-
we didn't
wait
try
a-
very hard to actually help her. We didn't
Now,
get rid
now,
of the
now,
things.
now, wait a minute, Moogie. Wait a minute. The last
Moogie.
time she did not That was not her fault.
Was it though?
It is.
It wasn't her fault.
She was being
Really think
controlled,
about it.
Moog.
Really think about it for a moment. How much did she try and fight it? Fight her
He
control?
did fight it.
Do you have undeniable proof that she fought it, or does she allow herself to be restrained?
What do you mean restrained?
If you don't remember the Blackwing incident,
I wasn't
Then-
there for the Blackwing incident. Gee whiz, you people don't remember that I only came here just recently.
well,
And I haven't had a chance to ask Aya. Aya's just kind of sitting there, kind of doing this.
To be honest, I forgot Aya was there.
Aya has been following. She just hasn't just said very much. This is just another string
I'll
of her
let-
very stressful life.
Yeah, no,
So
fair
Cathio
enough.
is just
I
kind of
will
like
let you
up over
talk
the
to
top.
Lady Mary about that. She knows all about it.
I'm sure she does, but I would rather get it from one of you. I am not going to
Moogie.
bother. I'm not going to bother Lady Mary, especially since she was planning a wedding for two of my very good friends.
Moogie
Now,
sheaths his
Now,
sword.
this is the first time any of you have heard this.
Oh, damn.
Tricathio
Well-
just kind of steps in the middle of Mookie and Rags.
Yeah, it's very weird because this is a huge ass Asimar
being
and a
talked
very
down
small
by a
kobold
small-
having
yes.
this argument.
He steps in
Yeah.
between and says, "More walking, less talking, please."
Yeah, that's fair. We need to hurry.
Yeah.
Longer we
Moogie
wait.
sheaths his sword, or his double-bladed axe flame thing, and flies off. He never actually touched the ground. He was still airborne.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Aldwin looked like he had something to say, but then Moogie went off, and Moogie. And
Also,
his-
Drax's
Aldwin slowly lowers his
Drax's
hand.
tail is swishing back and forth, like angrily, like he's annoyed.
We need to get the ship up and running, and we need either way. We need to go to Anthem. We gotta at least know what's happening there.
Yeah, we need to at least understand
What's,
it.
and again, Rags is moving along with you. Could someone please explain to me what this black, whatever he said was?
Tricathio
I
is
am
walking
sorely
and talking
out of the
about
loop.
it.
It's
What?
He turned into a demon creature from a wing of his sister who was cursed. It's a long story. I'll explain when we get there.
sounds complicated. Aldwin says.
Overly
It-
complicated. He looks over his shoulder.
Aya kind of looks over at Rex. It's very complicated. It's kind of where I joined into this crazy thing, and
I was after all this, probably. Aldwin says.
you were. And yes, between me and Drac, we can explain it to you in small, simple words that you would be able to understand. I thank that. Thank you. Shazon? Yes? Are you coming too? Do you want me to? And he's like kind of doing the nervous step from one foot to the other.
Tricathio just kind of stops, turns, and says, "The more crew, the more chances we have of defeating that son of a lich, Acerak."
We need all the help we're gonna need.
Both of you, roll me a persuasion check.
Well, both of us?
Mhm.
But Hearth doesn't have a good persuasion like his brother.
It kind of doesn't matter.
Fine.
Oh, Lord.
Anyways, it doesn't matter. You rolled a 21. A natural 20. A natural 20.
And you, Drac?
He rolled a 1 and a 5, so that's a 6.
Okay.
It's
So,
cool I got a natural 20.
so you heard do the convincing. Are you looking directly at Shazon as you're saying what you just said?
Yeah, he quickly is looking at them as he's walking.
And Shazon goes, well, for the sake of my sister and this village, since now I've got to protect it, I'll go with you. Appears that you need more help than it sounds like for the time being that ancient dragon back there will protect the village while I'm gone.
Mm-hmm. And either way, if we can solve the problem at Anthem, I believe we'll solve the problem all around.
Yeah, so you definitely need my help. I will come. And you
Thank
see,
you.
you see Ao visibly relax.
Nice.
Just. And so, you are walking to the ship. Moogie, you are flying to the ship.
I'm assuming Mugi would get there first because he's faster.
Yes, Moogie, you get there.
Anyways, we're kind of walking in a brisk pace, probably.
Mugi is gonna start chopping down random trees with his weapon out of anger.
How?
There's
And
a,
he's walking
there's
around
a
like smacking trees into.
yeah, there's a little beep beep, and then floating out from the cargo bay.
Oh God!
Hello,
No,
Oh.
not again!
Moogie. It appears your emotional stress levels are very high. It seems like you would need a good counseling session.
And shortly
As
after
a tree
the-
goes
a- a-
flying towards him.
Yeah. And shortly after, there's a second one. After the tree goes, Moogie, it appears that you are injured. Can I do something to help you with that? You've got two of them, Moogie. One male, one female. What do you do?
Who was the first one that came out?
Original
was Freddy.
Freddy.
Yeah, original Freddy.
Moogie balls up his fist and right in his face, sending him flying backwards.
Can I roll a dexterity saving throw?
Yes, you
Try and float
may.
out of the way.
Yes, you may.
Hold on.
Got Freddy and
God.
Fredette.
Oh Lord.
14 to dodge.
I will say that it because it's so small. I'll say that it dodged. That one dodged.
You failed.
He floats out of the way as you dodge, and he says, Mr. Moogie, I do believe you need some counseling. Your anger is very unbecoming of you.
What does Moogie
Snuffs
do?
he snuffs the flame of his weapon and sheaths it, and flies up into the branches of the only tree left standing in the entire little grove. Because he's chopped so many of them down.
Yep.
There's
yep,
still
yep.
some trees that are like smoking, like, and charred.
You cauterize the tree wound.
What else do you do? Are you just standing there, just not listening
He's-
to these two little bots?
He's gonna sit on the biggest branch he can find and just like lay back against the tree and not give a shit about these two bots.
I like the idea the bots don't make an effort to go up the tree, they just sit down at like the bottom, just
Well,
talking.
actually, the one that he tried to hit, which dodged. Yeah,
It
the other
floats
one.
up to the bottom of the tree and says, I'll wait here until you want to talk. It just sits and rests against the bottom of the tree trunk.
Fredette gives no fucks though.
How many hit points were you down, Oogie?
How many did they hit me for?
That was 18.
Yeah,
19?
something like that. Yeah.
18, so I'm down to 320 something.
That's fine.
No. Yeah, 320 something. I had like 346 health. I'm fine.
Oh, well, that's nice. The other one floats up very surreptitiously, doesn't say a word, very surreptitiously, and goes, poke! You get back 14 hit points.
They poke you and then slowly lower down.
And then slowly lowers down, yep.
Moogie turns his eyes and glares at the bot just for a
As it's
brief
slowly
moment.
going back down,
It's just, you're welcome!
it slowly goes back down and sits next to the first one. Just kind of floating there. But Moogie, you do feel better. At least a little bit.
Moogie wasn't bothered by his wound at all.
Well, doesn't sting anymore.
Stupid bots. I hate them both.
I heard
How
that.
about-
We're right here. Cut scene.
time. It's been long enough that the rest of the group come into the clearing. Everybody sees that there are a bunch of trees down.
Oh my god.
Tricathio looks around and says, "Dear God, did I land that poorly?"
No, look. He like points at all of the trees, like with the cut trees, like having the char marks on them,
Oh.
and it points to the one uncut tree, and like
With
you
the
barely,
with the two butts looking up.
like and you can see like the wings, the white wings, just like kind of clashing against the green. I imagine.
Tricathio just looks
There.
at the two bots. Freddy and Fredette, you can go back in now. But sir,
Well-
he needs counseling.
Let's.
Come
Yeah.
on, Freddy Bot. We need to go back onto the ship.
I think I like
No,
Fred
that is
more.
against my directive.
I like
Tricathio
that
just
it's like-
leans sternly in over the bot, like standing over it. It's like,
I like to think
Pod
Fredette is
now.
like I like to think Fredette's like version 2, like is a better version of the
Yes.
AI. Like
Yeah.
is
Well,
more
no,
considerate and less annoying.
Redette is exclusively a healing bot. Technically, she did her duty, which was go up and heal the person that was injured.
yeah.
Well, that's why I mean that she's better.
Freddy is
She
just
just does
basically
her
the
job and
all-around
leaves.
assistant bot.
Yeah, like Freddy's an
very
all-around
annoying.
assistant, while Fredette just will bother you for like a second and leave. They won't.
Yep.
They only stay as much
Right.
as they need.
Redette just kind of course, Captain, and flies back into the ship.
Freddy just kind of slowly saunters over back to the ship, looks back and says, "But," and Tricathio just says, "Pod now." Yes,
Pause
master.
now.
And just he flips back
Darth
into the
goes,
ship.
Well, I'm gonna listen to the generator.
So, do you still have the crystal, Noogie?
No, he gave. He
Oh,
did
that's
give
right.
it,
He gave it to
Hearth.
Hearth.
All the
Okay.
way.
Darth is holding
Oh,
it. And
yeah.
Hearth turns to Kathy and goes, "Is there any health concerns holding this crystal this close to my face?"
No, just make sure. Here, I'll show you how to install it. He like,
Okay.
picks up some of the jumper cables that are like strewn out around on the floor from the last crystal we just blew up, and he packs them all up into the case and walks back up to the engine room.
I love that. Is there any bad things that's going to happen with this thing close to the face? And Beth is going,
This is like,
Tricathio just turns back and says, "As long as you don't lick it when it turns on."
Oh, well, that's easy enough to fight the urge of doing.
Also, extreme
Lick it anyway.
radiation.
you're a better
and
reptilian humanoid than I am.
there's also
They
the
look like a sparky tongue, like your tongue's all sparked out.
Tricathio's
Yeah,
walking
better.
along, and he says, "There's also the slight chance of radiation poisoning, spontaneous
and
decombustion."
that fades off as you two are going up into the ship. Jason looked at the ship and goes, I don't think I've ever seen something like that. It's magnificent.
Very big.
Meanwhile, Moogie is still up in a tree, ignoring all of you.
Mhm. Wow. And you say that you traveled the up there in this?
Yeah, this thing, yep, I've actually piloted ships that can do that. That's
Not this big though.
Okay.
Flashback to him like clinging to the console with his legs dangling back.
Yep.
That one scene from what is it, Dynamo?
Yeah.
Well, you've been on this ship longer than maybe you could show me around. And you see AS smile, hold out her hand, and the two sisters walk up the gangplank.
Aw.
There's a loud like wrenches being thrown in in the engine room. Like, no,
No, you don't put that there.
What do you mean I don't put it there?
You put
That's-
it here.
that's the trilinear coupler. It
So
doesn't.
why is it a big hole?
The trilinear coupler isn't connected until step 3. He's like looking at the manual, holding up like a
Why
giant
all these
parchment,
big
and,
holes?
and it looks like an IKEA manual.
Yeah, I was about to say that looks like an IKEA manual.
What does this button do?
Don't
Don't
push that.
touch that!
Picture there's like one of those warning panels where it's the cartoon guy with the phase, but it's showing like the slash through it, and it's like him licking the crystal.
So, Beth and Alduin and Rex just kind of quietly followed up the two sisters, kind of looking at Vess and going, and then walking back up. So it's Vess and Alduin still outside.
Alden's walking in.
So
No,
it's
I'm,
just
going to assume that Gabriel knows where Moogie is.
I was actually gonna say before Vess enters the ship, he'll summon Gabrielle back,
okay.
and we'll say, keep an eye on Moogie, and if he doesn't come with us, stay with him.
Oh, you know I will stay with him. Only if he doesn't do that.
Yes, I know, Gabrielle.
Please. I like that.
What? But you've conjured a goddess or a god. That's what I meant. In front of me. Do you blame me for my feelings?
I love that she's saying that we're like really close to Vess. It's like just like putting her hands like on his shoulder.
Like this, yeah.
Yes, I understand. I get it.
And I'll see if I can maybe talk him down.
Okay. If
Don't get
nothing
caught.
else, stay with him, and if he needs to join us later, that'll be a good way for. If you're with him, that'll be a good way for us to meet back up again.
Right. As long as we don't get out without outside the 100-foot range.
Granted. But you know, I can also still scry on you, so at least I can keep an eye on things if I have to.
Yeah, that's true.
I like Alden like walks into like the darker parts of the ship and goes, huh. Pulls out his lute and starts strumming it. The electricity starts lighting up.
All you're doing is strumming it.
Yeah. He's like, ooh, musical light! He says happily.
Dracathio like sees it, you walking by and says, hey, Alduin, we might need a little bit of a charge for this crystal to be activated.
Okay then. He says we're walking in.
He says, I want you to stand right here. He like points to like a marker on the floor that's with like there's like a strip of like caution tape, and he says, do not cross this line.
Okay.
And he says, I want you to strum that thing as hard as you can and aim right at that. He points at the crystal, which is now seated in the
Okay. He says, well, like you can see like he prepped his hand for a really good strum. Like he does a little stretch with his hand,
Oh yeah.
and just loud like, electric guitar noise.
All right, roll your attack on the crystal.
Oh, you don't want to roll his attack on the crystal now. Chain lightning again.
Shooting
Yeah.
a lightning bolt at it. Yeah.
Basically, the better the value, I'm gonna roll the better lifespan the crystal has for a full charge.
Okay, let me roll his. How good is his performance again? Oh yeah, plus 16. He rolls that. He only got a 20 for that, but then I get to roll damage, and that will be the charge. So let me roll the 10d8. 47.
Bard's the only class in the entire D&D
Yep.
game where their performance can literally mean your death.
Yeah.
In this particular version, normally they can't do that.
Yeah. So there's a loud like crackling and popping as you just hear, and then you see like these like spiraling kind of like winches like engage as it kind of like throws up a force field right as you step back from the little caution tape.
Whoa. Hearth goes,
Main power online. As lights
oh,
go-
it worked. Cool.
And you hear a dull hum as all the consoles come to life. The main lights come on.
Meanwhile, outside,
The engines sputter on.
hang on.
Right.
Meanwhile, outside, there is Spooky, sitting in a tree. Never mind.
Yeah, I was thinking.
And Mookie, you hear a little flutter of wings coming over and
Hello,
kind
Gabrielle.
of sitting down. Mookie, why are you so upset? Why won't you give your sister another chance? She is your sister.
Let me tell you a story, Gabrielle, of
Mm.
long ago. When me and my sister were still goblins living in that village, in the forest of lost souls, we had everything. Yes, I was a slave to my family. Yes, I was cast out. She was cast out too. But we had each other for a time, and then she vanished on me, and I was left alone. Shortly after that, I discovered a town, and I was there for some time, and then these Blackwing creatures attacked. They were dark Azamar, corrupted, vile, evil. Well, discovered one of them was my sister, who had been warped by dark magic. I managed to save her, but it wasn't too long after that she turned evil again. Some other influence. Over the course of several years, she would change hands from good to evil, good to evil. This time was the last straw. I'm not going to save her again.
Mm.
She is strong enough on her own to get out of these predicaments, yet she falls right back in. I'm done. I am a demigod, for crying out loud. My responsibilities are not to constantly save her. My job is to save everyone else from her, from the evil that's spreading through her. I can't worry about my sister and worry about the lives of millions of innocents all over this planet.
Do you think you're the only one who has to worry about that?
No, but my job as the protege of Bahamut is to worry about it. I'm sorry, Gabrielle, but I'm done. I'm not rescuing her. If she was to turn evil and become the thing that she most desires, then by all means, let her. I'm not going to fight her unless it's necessary. And even then, I can guarantee she'll not like it.
Mookie.
It's come to this moment.
Mookie. Have you not learned anything? I think you being a god has taken away your humanity.
Oof.
Perhaps it has.
You have
But what
not given one thought about your family ever since you became a god. Not one.
I haven't had time to, Gabrielle.
Maybe you should give yourself some time. You know, I think Bahamut has been pushing you so hard to be his apprentice that he hasn't considered about your feelings about anything.
I'll let you talk to Bahamut about that then.
Oh, trust me, I will give him a piece of my mind. The thought of this little pixie giving the humongous dragon god a piece of her mind, just your brain just kind of goes.
He finds it hilarious. He's got a smirk on his face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, Gabriel. If you can convince, or even, I guess, threaten Bahamut as small as you are, which no doubt I assume you could be very annoying as a pixie if you chose to. If you can convince him, then perhaps I will form a bond with you the way you have with this. And then you can send me all the dirty thoughts.
Oh no.
That's if you can convince Bahamut, because he's as stubborn as any mule. So, good luck.
just don't understand why you do not have room in your heart to forgive. I don't understand that. Mookie, it seems like you have given up on your sister. Are you also going to give up on the people on this planet?
No, I'm not. It's my job to rescue all of them.
And that includes your sister.
But I can only do so much with the limited power that I have. Bahamut took away a lot of my godly power. I have but very little of it left.
So?
Let me show you something, Gabriel. He's going to reach out and he's going to put his finger right on her forehead.
Okay.
And they are whisked away into Moogie's mind space.
Mm-hmm. I figured that that's where you were going to go.
Every memory from every moment of his life flashes before.
Okay.
And most of them are dark. Like, really dark.
Mm-hmm.
She may want to roll a Constitution saving throw.
This is a 0, right, Vess?
Yeah, no bonus or penalty.
Okay. God damn it. That's a 5 again.
Magic glitter glue.
Magic glitter glue.
Free glitter glue.
Well... Oh, gosh darn it. Now I'm going to have to actually look for this. I was not that far off. Oh, no, not that, you twit. No. There we go. So what you're saying is that you're showing all these memories that is dark within your mind space, right?
Yep. Every little memory that's ever been dark that has consumed his world.
Mm-hmm. And she's looking at this, not feeling too particularly swift, but she then speaks up. And she says, I remember something that was said. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous, or boastful, or proud, or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable. It keeps no record of being wronged. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith. It's always hopeful and endures through every circumstance. 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love.
Well, tell me something, Gabriel. Out of all the memories I've shown you, how many memories did you see me smile in any form I've taken?
That doesn't matter, Moogie.
Oh, I think you'll find it does.
No,
Because
it does not. Do you love your sister?
I'm questioning that reality.
That wasn't my question. Do you love your sister?
I don't know anymore. I truly don't know anymore, Gabriel. I don't know if I can love her or care for her anymore. I don't have all the pieces to my puzzle.
Well, then let me show you some of mine. And she reaches out and she touches you, and now you're going to go into what a pixie's mind would look like, which is basically all flowers and unicorns.
Cupcakes and
cupcakes.
farting rainbows.
Yeah, it's a happy, it's sickly happy to be in here. But what of those memories? As you're in this sickly space, is you see Leilana, after she's been knotted, the first time that she was knotted, coming to herself. And
Interesting memory.
changing back into her good, aligned person.
That's certainly an interesting memory you have of her.
It's the truth. You weren't there because you were busy with Bahamut.
Busy,
Who
you
even
say?
Who even noticed? Did you even notice? I bet you didn't.
I wasn't allowed to.
That's
Bahamut
your.
forbid me from interfering in lives again. He prevented me from leaving the God Realm. He locked the gates on me.
Yeah, I would consider that an abusive relationship.
Well, regardless, we have work to do.
Hmm. All I'm saying, if love will be the most important thing in your life and you're letting it wither. And she snapped you out of her happy space.
Dracathio walks out from underneath the ship, and you hear the
What
roar
you're
of the
what you're
engines.
basically, yeah, as you're walking out of the ship, you see Mookie there, kind of with his hand, these big old hands on a little tiny pixie, like this, and they both got their eyes closed. And you see tears coming from Gabrielle's eyes, from as you're walking out.
Dracathio just looks and just kind of stands there politely, waiting for it to end.
So Mookie, you've been snapped back into your horrible, horrible mind space, and yet, out of all the bad things that has happened to you, Moogie, you start to hear girlish laughter. Happy girlish laughter.
I wonder what that is coming from.
It is a long ago forgotten memory of you and your sister.
Can I interject for a moment?
Mm.
So Moogie, you remember those doors that you described in your mind space? There's kind of like this white, kind of like oak door that's painted white, and it has like, like little, kind of like flowers on it and stuff like that. It's not like, you don't remember this door because it's been so long, but that's where the voice is coming from, that childless laughter behind that door. And the door kind of materializes as a spotlight just shines on it off in the distance in your mind space.
What do you do?
I'll check that out later.
Whoa.
And he just snaps himself out of his own mind space.
With Gabrielle, you're taking your hands away from Gabrielle. You see that she has been crying.
And Dracathio is standing there and he goes, sorry to interrupt the whatever this is, but hey, we got the ship working. Immediately suddenly just changing the subject.
Yeah, I'll join you shortly.
We could use you at on tactical.
He
Plus, I did
puts
some
Gabriel
upgrades.
down on the branch and like fly flips his wings open and kind of like swoops down,
Mm-hmm.
but not quite landing. But he like just takes off a short distance away.
Mm-hmm.
So you fly away.
Yeah, Mugi's gonna fly away for a short distance away from the ship,
Tricathia
like
just looks to
kind of behind
Gabriel.
the trees where he can't be seen.
Tricathia
Okay.
just looks to Gabriel and says, "Is it something I said?
No.
What's up with you?"
He showed me all of his not happy moments. And I was trying desperately to show him that his sister still needs him. I don't know if I got through.
Tricathia rests like a kind of like a meaty paw on her, this tiny little pixie shoulder, and says, "Trust me, I've tried to get through to that little goblin's mind many a times, and despite the pea-sized brain that he still has a good heart. He'll come around.
His own
Eventually.
sister. His own sister that he's giving up on. Everybody deserves a family. I mean, I have one with Vess. I was so happy that he called me into being.
Possibly try a different approach," he says. "You know, we are, despite our differences, one big
Back.
family."
Okay.
I mean,
I know that.
we just need to put it across to him that we work as a team, despite our differences. Yes, I may be a little bit grumpy dwarf in my old age, but
You were never a grubby dwarf.
he chuckles at that. I try
mean-
to be.
I mean, all the people that we've seen and looked after, and I mean, I envy the relationship Rags has with Lady Mary. I envy that relationship.
This got emotional.
He says,
Okay.
"I have an idea." And he says, "Something that might cheer up Moogie and everyone
You
on
mean
the ship."
other than knocking those two little robots like into next week?
He chuckles and he says, "You can read minds like an open book." And he says, "But beside the point, I believe Moogie deserves a little more than I'm giving him." And he walks back into the ship and says, "If you want to see a sneak peek, I can show you."
Ooh. Well, Vess told me that I needed to stay with Moogie,
If you must.
but but Moogie right now I think wants to be by himself, at least for a little bit.
I can understand that.
I'll come in and look at and then I'll go to him, and
Yep.
then I'll go and check on Moogie.
He walks
Okay?
into the cargo bay and into like a special compartment in that you didn't know existed on the ship.
Mhm.
It's been kind of, you thought it was a closet, and so you didn't go in there, or a maintenance closet. But next to the med bay, there's a mess hall
Mhm.
that no one's technically ever used.
Mhm.
He punches a couple keys onto the keyboard, and it opens up the door, and there is a feast. Like, I'm talking like full length medieval table, like piled high with food and stuff like that. And it's everything everyone in the party would want to eat and more.
Ooh.
And it's like a candlelit dinner and stuff like that. And he says, "I believe we deserve something special. So I've been investing most of my time down below in here cooking all of this. Trust me, it wasn't easy.
Oh, look at all that. Suckling pig, grapes, and and uh, uh oh, you've got something with mustafta, mishnufuf, mitifif, with yogurt.
Yogurt.
He even points. He even holds up a what looks like a kebab, and he says, "Yes, I even have Anthem Original Chutlan." He takes a nibble of it, like a large bite, and chews on. It's kind of like it's a fried kebab, but it's like what it's made of is like a it's fried oysters, but it's like rotisserie style,
Right.
and they only grow on like Anthem.
Right.
And you know that this stuff is expensive to obtain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, by the way, Trish, I did text you something. It was a question.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh,
I saw that.
But also on the table, there's a very long, kind of slender package wrapped up at where Mookie would probably be sitting.
Is that what I think it is?
He points to his great axe and says, "Forged her myself. Now don't tell," until he opens it.
Okay. Let me go see if I can find him and convince him to come onto the ship.
Yep. He
This
says,
is
"I will
great.
make the announcement to the crew."
Okay. This is great. You've really outdone yourself, Drac.
Yep.
And Vess, you got everything that Gabriel was communicating to Mookie, because they were outside, and you're feeling a little bit verklempt yourself.
Yeah, no, yeah. I picture he's in the engine room, like working on something, and he's got like the little like the eyes with the tears.
Mhm.
You're welding something, and it's just like, well, not welding, but like you're like using fireballs or like spell casting to like,
Sacred flame.
yeah, yep.
finger flame.
And you're just crying behind the the welder's mask.
It's very quiet sobbing.
Yep.
I'm not crying.
I'm not crying. You're crying. I've got dust underneath my eyes. Yeah.
And the faint smell of onions wafts
Yeah,
into
the
the
big
room.
smell of onions.
Onions.
All right,
Hey,
sorry about
Someone
Gabrielle.
on
that.
the
I'm back.
ship. Yep.
That's fine. Gabrielle flies out. She knows approximately where you are, Moogie, because she didn't see you fly off.
Yep. Drac makes his way to the bridge. Casually.
Gabrielle, where are you, Moogie, and what are you doing?
Mookie is hovering over like a flat, sort of like a flat pond like area in a stream. You know how where it flows up a small waterfall and it like spills out into a big old wide area, making a shallow pond, and then it flows up into a normal river. That sort of thing. That's kind of where he's at.
Right, and that's not that far away. I mean, you could still, if you made sure that you were within at least visual distance of the ship.
Yeah.
When you flew off, and you hear light flutterings coming towards you. What you doing?
Mookie puts his finger to his lips and says, "Shh, you'll scare the fish."
She looks down. I don't think my voice is going to scare the fish. I'm so teeny tiny.
You'd be surprised. Kind of like side eyes her. I'm going to roll an unarmed strike to grab a fish out of the pond.
Oh,
That
you're actually sitting next to the pond. Okay,
No,
gotcha.
he's hovering above the pond. Like,
Got it. Got it.
He's like slowly
Got
flapping his wings to keep it airborne. So that is. Let me add that up real quick because I just rolled a decent number, but I have to.
Yeah.
So. 6, 7, 8. Okay, so 28. Do I grab a fish? out of the water?
Yes, you do.
Awesome.
Actually, you grab a couple of fish. You're that good.
He stuffs them in his pouch again, in his pouch. I'm going to roll another to try to catch more fish.
Okay. Fishing, unarmed style.
Yes, actually.
Fishing.
Okay. So that is that's 8, 9, 19.
Oh, nice.
Because my unarmed is a plus 12 to hit DC. So
You managed to catch another fish.
that should be enough.
Drac has a surprise for us inside the ship.
I'm sure he does. Knowing that silly little dwarf always has a surprise for somebody.
That's for everybody on the ship, and that includes you.
Well, I'm going to have some grilled fish. So I'd offer you some, but I don't know if you eat fish.
Let's come back to the ship.
Mookie swoops back over toward the ship. Clearly
with
leaving
Gabrielle following you.
Yeah, clearly leaving Gabriel behind because he's a lot slower than he is.
Okay. You come onto the ship. Trigathio, make your announcement.
Attention all crew, please report to the main hall located on deck 2 where the 2 closed doors are.
Oh.
Oh boy.
Hearth looks up and goes, "Oh, what is it now?"
Aya and Shayson goes, and Aya goes, I didn't know we had a main hall. You learned something new on this ship. I didn't know we had one of those. And Shayson goes, okay,
Well,
I'm
come on.
game. It's just kind of
Okay.
And then as you guys are making your way down the hall, like the walkway towards the lower part of the ship, you can hear the very faint music of anthem playing, like some kind of like very like lively anthem like music playing in the like throughout the ship. You don't know where it's coming from though, but like you know it's being piped in somewhere. And Cathio is waiting at the outside the 2 double doors. And they're like very oak ornate, like mahogany doors.
Well, Hearth and Olin walk up. I didn't know we had this.
Because you haven't
Me
looked
neither.
close enough. Also, he pushes a button on the wall, and there's like a wall cloak that appears kind of in front of it to make it look like just a normal bulkhead. He says,
I always thought
pushes
this
the button
door
again, and it
looked funny.
disappears. Yep. He says, I've been working on a little special something for everyone. Where's the rest of the group?
Not sure.
and just as you're opening and asking that, people start. You see, Aya and Shazon, Rags comes bounding in. You know, bound. That's as she does. Dr. Vest comes in, and the last 2 people to arrive is Moogie and Gabrielle.
Nice.
He says, I have a big announcement to make, everyone. I know we've been through a lot together, and I believe that as captain of this vessel, everyone deserves something fitting, especially a particular someone who's, I know, has been through a lot. And he says, now, Mr. Moogie, if you don't mind, he steps aside to let you open the door.
Moogie, what do you do?
He takes his foot and gently shoves the door open.
Okay.
The doors fly open, and before you is a feast to behold, with like full-on banquet level lighting and everything like that. And there's a window behind it that overlooks right now the lower part of the ship, but it is a very large observation lounge.
Whoa! Whoa!
Gabriel, yeah, Gabrielle kind of leans over. I think that's going to be better than grilled fish. Don't you think?
Drac, how long have you been doing this?
Cathio leans in and says, months.
Oh,
Oh, this is amazing.
Yep.
wow.
Says I-
Right? I told you
pretty-
they had the pastechka, mashnufa, mishnita, the yogurt.
Huh.
Cathio
Well, this is a
walks
pleasant
over and
surprise.
he pulls up a chair, kind of the side of the table near the head, but you notice he's not sitting at the captain's portion of the chair, and he says, I believe this chair belongs to someone more important than I today.
And that would
He
be
gestures to Mugi.
Ooh.
Are you sure about that?
Cathio says, you've been through a lot, and I believe you deserve a little extra today. And you notice that there's a package sitting at the place in front of you. Very long, slender package.
All right. I'm willing to play ball here, as the term goes. He starts tearing the package open ever so gently. He doesn't want to just rip the paper or whatever it is.
Yeah, you.
Oh, be a child and rip open your present.
Now he's going to be respectful. He's going to
Yeah.
start peeling at the tape and whatnot.
Oh, you're going to be one of those kids.
I was one of those kids.
Yeah, so as you're opening it, you sense that there's a magical presence underneath this paper. Great and powerful magical presence. And then it hits you when you reveal the very corner of one of the ends of this object. It's made of special anthem might metal, and imbued with obsidian. And then you realize this is one of your old swords. No, wait, it's two of your old swords. As you reveal more packaging, but
Wait. How did you...
I recovered them from Anthem before the great battle and the takeover of Anthem occurred. I had them brought to my forge, and I had them been working on them for months. That's why I haven't been on the bridge for quite some while.
I can't believe it. They're intact.
Well, Drac, you really outdid yourself.
He kind of rolls his shoulder, and you just hear some popping of bones as he's took some work out of me, but it was well worth the effort. As he reaches over and grabs a kebab and just...
I can't believe you found them. I thought these were lost to the ages.
He's in mid-chew. He says...
I'm
do
sending
my-
you information on the
Yep.
actual blades,
Okay,
Mag. Continue with your roleplay. This is
Yep.
good.
Well,
he says, there is, you may have noticed or sensed it, but there is something very special about those that I managed to imbue into them.
I would like to know what.
And when Trish sends you the information, you'll realize what it is. He says, but please, everyone, enjoy and eat up. It's a feast for, I guess, heroes like ourselves.
well, this is pretty nice.
And he
I'm
passes
impressed.
down a plate and says, "Oh, please do try the Perelian stew. It is exquisite."
Like hard.
Gabrielle leans over to Dr. Fest. Try the gray stuff. It's delicious.
Oh,
I do.
not the
Still
great stuff.
scoops him onto his plate.
Oh no. But I'll
Well,
look
if
at the-
this is the case,
Mhm.
then I suppose
Mhm.
that then I have a special gift for you too. Then, Drac.
Dracathio looks up like halfway through a mid bite. He says, "Oh no! I don't deserve anything. I'm just your captain and your close friend. I don't."
Nonsense. I've had this for a long time, and only very few knew I even had it. But I think it's time that it's passed on to someone who truly and rightfully deserves it. He opens his satchel, which has still got all the fish in it that he caught.
Some of them flap out onto the onto the table.
No.
Don't worry about them. He he pulls a little string and opens a zipper compartment. That several of you have already seen this. It's just a simple leather bag he wears, and inside he pulls out a satchel, small satchel about so big. It looks like an herbalist satchel. Flips it open, and he kind of rummages around in it a little bit. Like you see him clearly looking for something.
Yep.
He's getting agitated.
Dracathio just looks and says, "Bag of holding." He points and says,
No, not a bag of holding. It's not a bag of holding. It's a simple little herbalist satchel.
Yep.
You know,
He's
putting
very
like
interested.
little herbs and stuff in. Kind of like the ones you find in Skyrim. It's a simple herbalist bag.
Yeah.
And he reaches in and he finally finds a round object, plucks it out, and hands it to you.
He takes it in his meaty paw and looks at it and says, "Moogie, what is this?"
No.
That is, well, if I tell you, and a certain someone, as he looks up to the ceiling, finds out that I have it, I'm going to get in serious trouble.
Dracathio nods and says, "I believe I can assume what this is."
That is one of Bahamut's scale crystals.
What?
He says, "I'll take this and keep very close, protect it with my life."
I swiped it from him when he was asleep.
He says,
Gabrielle goes, bold?
No, not bold. Payback. When
For
he
what?
punished me, some time ago, when Anthem was overrun with those mech things. Well, I forget who it was, but one of them called me down from the sky to help them because they were trying to escape, and Bahamut punished me for for allowing myself to be called down more than once. Well, he stole my wings from me and grounded me as punishment. So, effectively, I waited while he was asleep, and I swiped one of his scale crystals. You would not believe how long the Dragon God will sleep.
Dracathio
He'll
just
sleep for an
chuckles.
entire year.
Dracathio says, "You realize that I am working on a project, and this will more than pay for its completion. It might
Well,
even
enjoy.
It might even be able to power the thing. And now that I think about it, he's like stroking his long beard.
How big is this crystal? How big is this dragon crystal? Moogie?
As big as the palm of Moogie's hand.
Okay.
Pretty big.
Yep.
Yep, that's big. Well, he said dig in, and I'm going to definitely dig in, and you see a little tiny plate with little tiny bits of food on the plate. And this is Gabrielle,
Yeah.
kind of, and she sits down.
And then
Oh,
you
go-
hear kind
ooh.
of like the dull, kind of like roaring of the engines as the ship slowly moves up and is making its way to Anthem, but slowly.
Oh, I almost forgot something important.
What is that?
Gabrielle, I
Yes?
think you deserve this.
What do I deserve? I don't deserve anything.
He grabs Gabrielle around the waist of the head and dunks her head first in the yogurt.
Thank you.
Alduin quickly sees that, and he kind of like he kind of laughs a little bit as he pulls out his lute and makes plays a little comedy track for a second.
Basically, Mookie, when you do that and her head goes down, you hear much, 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 much.
Dun, 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 dun.
What is the images going through Vesta's head right now?
Images of yogurt.
Yeah. It's like
Images of
static,
yogurt.
only colder.
Yep. Yep.
You actually hear Hearth let out a very short laugh. Just,
You hear laughter, Nabuki. You hear laughter all over this table, and as you're looking over this table, Mookie, you do see Aya. The first person that you ever met. You remember when she chased you because you didn't know where you were. You led her on a merry chase all over her hometown. And
As
then
the ship
you
is
remember...
flying over the hometown in that particular area, you can see it through the windows. You can see it through the windows.
And you remember that was the first time that you heard laughter. And you do remember that was the first time that you smiled.
nice.
Moogie has a big grin on his face.
Mm-hmm.
Like with his pearly whites.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And as the ship moves closer to Anthem, our camper changes
Camera change.
to what looks like to be a room. And Lady Mary is walking into said room. Alduin, I'll let you be Dark Matter.
It's time, yeah.
Yes, it is
She
time.
walks into this little side room from his main office, and
She's been looking for him, and she's just found out about this little side office.
She hears him kind of muttering and whistling, just she just sees his back while he's hunched over trying to do something. Come on, no, still stick. Ah!
What are you doing, Dark Matter?
Oh, hello.
Hi.
I wasn't expecting you.
I just finished doing a wedding.
Oh.
Yeah, two of my dearest friends in a different plane just had a wedding, and I just got yelled at by somebody else because I endangered people, and I feel really bad about that. So if we can, inflict some pain somewhere else, I would greatly appreciate that.
Okay then.
But what are you doing? No. What are you doing? Come on.
Just a side project, you know.
And
He's kind of hiding whatever.
Yeah,
he's...
she just kind of looks around. You're
Yeah. No, hey, this is private.
What is she saying? She just peeks around him.
You see a lump of something. It's it's a lump of whatever his black stuff is, but it looks like he's trying to form something. And he's got all you can see is headish shape and 2 watches placed where eyes would be. 2 clocks, just full clocks, really. Tiny little wrist watches.
Dark Matter, are you trying to create something?
No. Why would I do that?
He is going to roll insight.
Squint. Press X to note.
Press F to pay respects.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she does it. She narrows her eyes. You know there's no lying to me. You are trying to create something.
Yes, I'm trying to make something. He says while stepping out of the way fully.
What are you trying to create?
Well, he kind of scratches the back of his head. I was thinking, and was thinking about how shitty of a dad my father was, and was trying to think maybe I could show him up. And be
You
better
want to
than him.
you want to create a son, and you don't want to take the usual method.
Yeah, it's easier. I had to see my damn little brother to learn how to do this. I had to test it out first, so I made some of those. He said, well, pointing at some like more sentient looking versions of his hands. These little hand things that show up, and he's just like, I made those, and they're annoying the hell out of me.
So
He says-
you actually want a child.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing lately. Side project.
Well, it's not a half-bad side project, but it is taking your focus of what we're trying to do. Remember, I told you we're trying to create, do a distraction.
Oh yeah, that.
That.
It's been really hard to also do this while trying to keep. Wait, he's like, wait a minute. He says I'm getting a broom. You see, like up in like a vent, alchemist. No, back you! Ah, darn it! Foiled again. Skittering into a vent. I also been trying to keep him away from my creation.
That's probably a good idea. No telling what he'll do. I think I can help, at least in that respect. And she goes over to this formless mask with two watches for eyes. I love it. With a head.
It's a very rough head attempt.
Well, you haven't started off too badly.
Yeah, it's taking a lot of time. I don't want to make a little me.
But isn't that what children are?
Well, yes, but I wanted him to not look exactly like me. Some
Ah.
differences.
Gotcha.
Like, you notice he did use different types of watches than the watches he has. They're slightly bigger than his.
And you see her kind of wave her hands over this blob, and it starts to solidify a little bit more.
Oh. What did you do?
Well, since you and I are working together, and you've been lovely, let me tell you, you have been lovely.
I'll take that as a compliment. He says, well, like adjusting his suit a little bit.
Is it kind of the taking the time and doing this?
Yeah, kind of,
wiggling the
yeah.
time? Yeah, no, kind of. Ooh, I've been complimented. Ooh,
Nice! That's a
nice.
good feeling. That's dopamine.
Yep, you get a shot of dopamine. She says, I decided to add a little bit of, well, me. I don't do that often, trust me. I'm very careful about what I let into other realms. Fear of Acerec, the person that we're trying to stop from invading.
Oh, yeah. He almost did that, didn't he?
Well, yeah.
Right.
But I sprinkled some of my own essence over your creation. It should be interesting if you continue to tinker with it.
Well, of course, and also if I keep Alchemist away.
Oh, don't worry, this is alchemist proof.
Says you.
The
He was able
vent
to, he's able to
opens up
escape
in
my
the
dimension on
ceiling.
demand.
What?
The vent opens up in the ceiling again.
No, you go. Ah, shh. Just hiss. And you can see like Alchemist's hand claw out. Don't you hiss at me!
While you two are looking at this doll
Thing.
thing he's creating.
Yeah.
um,
Oh, you're gonna interject? Oh, God.
oh, yes,
No.
I am.
No, it's my shit. You can't touch it. Fine.
Oh no, that's gonna happen. But a very vaguely familiar wooden puppet plops onto the table, lifeless.
I just like that.
Now, Lady Mary knows what this puppet is, but Dark Matter doesn't.
Yep. Yep.
What is that?
Yes, I do.
And you know who it belongs to.
Mm-hmm.
And off in the various corners of the room, you hear a familiar.
It's like
What are
every
you
time
doing
I open
here?
my dimension up.
What are you doing here?
Oh,
Off.
spying as usual.
It's a road.
Dark Matter here's got some pretty interesting toys. I feel like I might want to, I don't know, animate them, bring them to life,
Well, you'd have
see
to
what they
ask.
do.
You'd have to ask Dark Matter because they're not your toys.
Well, definitely not my
Everything
side
in the
project.
shadows is my toys.
Eh.
No matter what realm it's in, everything in the shadows is my toys.
You do realize that we're also trying to cook up a distraction for Asarak?
Of course, and didn't I promise you I would help with that?
Ooh.
Yes? How is it going
Well.
on your end?
Well, let's just say that some things have developed. And I think you'll be interested to see them when they pop up out of nowhere.
I just knew the wrong kind of chaos was when I asked you to help.
Oh, come now, Lady Mary. You know how the game goes. It takes 4 players.
Well, there's only 3.
Yeah, she kind of narrows her eyes. She knows he's speaking, but he's not in the room. She narrows her eyes. We still have to hear from our 4th.
Oh, I'm sure we'll hear from the 4th in no time. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. Nicely done, Moogie. That was pretty impressive. Turning him into a full-blown Azamar? Not even I would have considered you doing that. You're bold. Very bold.
I figured it was about time, and Bahamut wouldn't have done it.
Indeed, he would not have.
He
The
doesn't
question
believe.
is,
The thing is, he doesn't think the boy is ready for that responsibility. I, however, do.
Bahamut is stubborn in his old age. He thinks the old ways are the best ways. But he's about to learn that that's not always the case. After all,
Don't say Jakku. Ah, gosh darn it.
Like, kind of just squinting and just like,
Yeah, both Dark Matter and Lady Mary go, oh, gosh darn it.
I'll leave the guesswork to you, Lady Mary. Also, Dark Matter, since you're trying to create life, it's better you put more of yourself into the object being created.
Well, I'm using pieces of myself anyways, so...
Oh, I'm
You have
talking
no
about
say.
more than that. More than that. You gotta put a piece of your soul into it. Here, like this. As the doll starts getting up and dancing around like a little kid.
Ooh.
See, it's that simple. I'll let you borrow the doll for a little while so you have something to remind you. Oodaloo.
He freaks me out.
You don't think he freaked me out? I'm the one who said that I would be able to keep him on a leash. Want to see how well that's going?
The doll is still prancing around.
Yeah, I know. And she
everything on the desk.
and Lady Mary looks at Dark Matter. I don't have to keep so much on a leash.
Yes, at least it's not dealing with Alchemist. He literally turned that weird anti-biomass stuff from that, like, bomb I stole into bullets and gave it to Hunter. I don't know where.
No.
As soon as the alchemist pops back out,
Actually, the alchemist at this point pops up out of a vent.
and the
It-
doll chases after him.
Ah! You back, you fiend! No!
And what Alchemist is wearing currently is he's wearing kind of an astronaut thing with a plastic, and it's red.
Oh no.
The doll gives chase to the alchemist.
And Darkman goes, you know the scariest thing about Alchemist? I seen him turn a person's soul into cheese. It's right here. He's still pulling it out. Look at it. It's cheese made of a soul.
Yeah, Bal's little doll has now started chasing the alchemist around the room.
And the alchemist is going,
Oh.
get away, get away, get away,
Get away! Wait!
Come on,
Wait,
play
wait.
with me, play with me, yay!
No, like the doll jumps at him, but all of a sudden the doll hits him, but it's a cardboard cutout. There he goes to the cardboard cutout thing again. I'm scared of him. He made an escape rocket that can leave this dimension. I'm scared.
Where is this escape rocket?
It's in his freaking secret lab. And the secret lab's entrance is in my office. That bookshelf. He is a supervillain.
Well, yes, and we'll be able to use that super villainous to our advantage. If he
Yeah.
has an escape rocket, I think we can use that to our advantage.
He also has a weird flask, and every time he drinks it, he knows exactly what to do. It's
Oh,
scary.
I think I can take that flask. He shouldn't have that particular ability.
No one can handle it but me! You hear him shout.
All is still chasing the alchemist around the room.
The Lady Mary looks at the doll. Keep chasing him. Keep him busy.
Only I can hold. Not even gods can handle my smart juice.
Gimme, gimme, gimme!
Back, you fiendish doll!
The doll's arms are like outstretched as it just chases the alchemist around the room.
This is like a man that's hunched over and kind of short, just running around. Back!
Lady Mary walks into the office, goes to the secret door.
The secret door. You will see a very long staircase down.
Yeah.
I don't recommend to go in there. Not
Why?
even I go in there. Well, I go in there sometimes. I
Okay.
don't know what's down here, to be honest. A lot of the time.
Like I'm afraid of alchemists.
You should. He doesn't even know what half his potions do a lot of the times.
Oh, good. I have a table for that.
He is following you down. To
Yep,
the deep
He's
staircase.
he's following
Is-
me down.
You guys still hear the screams of the alchemist as the doll's chasing him around the room.
Back!
Play
love
with me, please!
Like you come all the way down to this large lab, and it's just so much random shit.
Yep.
Bottles, a bunch of boxes that says old potions. Try later.
Mhm.
None of them are labeled.
Of course they aren't.
And eventually you do see a bunch of doors. This place is... I don't even know how he made it. He didn't ask me to make this. He made this on his own.
Well, you
And-
give him too much credit. Now, do we know where the rocket is?
It is... Where is it? He starts, looking around, and eventually he finds a button under, a desk. He clicks it. A door opens, and you see this, large, rocket door, and inside is a bunch of chairs, and he says he has one for everyone, including me. Look, he points at this throne. He idolizes me, and I feel like he could kill me if he wanted.
Well, that's not what we're here for. We're here for the rocket.
What do we need the rocket for?
Well,
I'm
distraction.
scared of the rocket. Ooh.
Distraction. Do you have any of the material that you stole from the ship?
It's in... I actually, you mean the rocket, or just the stuff inside of it?
The stuff inside of it.
Okay, I have to get Alchemist. Alchemist! What is it, my lord? He says, popping out of nowhere. The doll is hugging onto his back. Just ignoring it. What would you like, lord?
Oh. You do realize you're one of the creepiest beings I've ever met, Alchemist.
That's what many people say. I don't trust him. Nothing he says is trustworthy.
We can trust him as far as we can throw him, and trust me, I can throw something.
Yeah, I can throw him
Never
far,
mind.
But either way.
Do you have any more of that material that you use to make bullets for Hunter?
Ah, Yes, that stuff. Give me a second. I used most of it, but I can make more, he says. He thinks for a second. He quickly pulls out a flask, takes a sip. Yes, yes, he says, we'll put it away. He starts going over. You see him do things like grab grapes, crush them, put them in a flask. You just see him doing really random shit that doesn't seem like it would help. And then all of a sudden, like not even like 5 minutes later, he comes out with a flask full of it. Yes, here it is.
Ah. You know your rocket over there?
Yes, my escape rocket.
Your escape rocket. We're going to need to use that. See, we're planning on doing a distraction because of Acerak. Do you know who he is?
I've heard of him, but he doesn't scare me.
Oh, good. Then you don't mind us using your rocket for the cause.
Well, it's only if my lord's okay. Yes, I'm okay with it. Then yes! I am very okay with it.
Good. Make sure that that is in the rocket and be prepared to shoot it at the Capitol building when we tell you to.
I can do that and more. I can do that and more, he says.
I'm sure you could do more, and we might actually ask you to do more. But right now, I need you to work on this and be
I'll be right back.
slow. Be slow about it. If you take my meeting.
Yes, I get what you say. Yes! He says, we're like grabbing some more flasks full of this
Yeah,
stuff.
Lady Mary kind of looks at Dark Manor. Well, that's him sorted. He's going to be busy for a bit.
You
Meanwhile-
put a lot of hope into
Meanwhile,
that.
there's a, you know, the casing that had the original fluid in it?
Hmm.
It's
There's a tiny little object underneath, inside the casing, that's going beep.
Oh no! Don't worry. That's on that's on his desk somewhere because that's been
Yeah,
used
but
as a
it's
soda
blinking,
canister.
it's pulsing.
What is that? Don't worry, my lord. It's just it's a something.
It's a something, he says.
It's something he says.
Whoever, Lady Mary, if you would like to roll to see what that is, I'll let you.
Yeah. I make it.
It is a very advanced dimensional tracker
Ooh.
that was cobbled together by Drac,
She
and it's
eyes
been
it.
activated.
She eyes it. Nice going, Drac. I think he
It's
had it in
beeping.
him.
It's beeping too loud. He
It-
says. You look over and you see Alchemist pulling out a flask.
Hey.
What?
I'll take that and I'll keep it from beeping.
Okay. He says, we'll slowly putting the flask
She,
away.
she walked over to the table, she picked up the tracker and quietly stuffed it like in a pocket. Still
Alchemist, you don't
beeping,
know what
but
that
it's
was
not
gonna do.
beeping as loudly.
He's just like, Alchemist, you don't even know what that potion was gonna do. No idea.
Well, why don't you take a sip and we'll find out?
Let me see. He's still pulling it out again. Like he quickly takes a sip.
Okay.
Oh!
Hang
I-
on.
Yeah.
Hang on. You two are 25. I'll give you a choice, dear.
Mhm.
You can either turn into a large monster or give yourself 5 extra hit points.
He becomes stronger. The last thing anyone wants.
So you're
Just-
gonna become an extra large monster?
No.
Or
We already have enough of that.
yeah, we already have enough of that.
He just gets a little, like, health-wise stronger. Just,
Mm,
yes. What is it? It would just, you know. I don't know what it does. It tastes like water. He says we're throwing it away. Just thinking of something.
It just shat. You just hear like the sound of breaking glass off in the distance.
It's just water. Don't worry, Lord. Anyways.
I turn around, say it should work, and we'll check in on you.
Yes.
And I look at Dark Matter and go, you know, kind of.
He scares me. By the way, when he says he makes bullets, I mean he uses what he calls alchemy to make things. Yes. Would you like an example? No. Keep looking.
No, thank you. And we're leaving. Come on, Dark Matter.
Let's get out of here before he does
Let's-
something weird.
Uh-huh.
All is still latched onto his back. It's not
Yeah.
letting go.
He's just
And the very high pitch of play with me.
Play with me. No.
later. I will play with you later, you damned doll.
Meanwhile, Bao is looking through the doll's eyes with glee at his smile. He's loving this torture.
We
Actually,
cut to
it-
Tricathio in his after the feast.
Hang on.
Okay,
Oh,
I'll let you. Sorry. Well, after the feast,
And
but during the feast.
Lady Mary kind of wanders back up to Dark Matter's study.
Is anything else you need?
Well, not at the moment. I've already stomped out one fire with that wedding. I told my granddaughter that I would be here, so she knows where to find me. I think you would like her. Chump is a wonderful engineer. Likes to cause chaos.
I'll keep an eye on them then. Later, then.
Yes, keep an eye on her. Just don't do anything to her. She will retaliate in kind, and you wouldn't want that.
Of course, I won't do anything in particularly. Oh yeah, outside of didn't Moogie want to talk to man?
Moogie wanted to talk. Didn't Moogie want to talk to who?
Dark Matter. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
he did, but he couldn't get in contact with him.
Oh
that
yeah.
was some time ago.
Just
Yeah.
remind you.
There's a phone on your desk, and there's a light lit up on it. It says you have one new message.
And what would that be?
Goes over, hits the button. Mookie, you left a message, didn't you?
He did. It was just like it was for. There's a moment of silence, and it's Dark Matter, you son of a monkey.
Hmm. Let me guess.
End of
Moogie
message.
wants to talk to me.
Recorded on, and he gives like some random date.
Yeah, I think I didn't respond to him for a good month or two.
Maybe you ought to.
yes,
To delete
yes,
messages,
yes.
press
I'll go
delete
and deal
again.
with him in like a now kind of thing. And
Yeah, that's true.
Well.
I need to make sure all the pieces are running in the same, grease the wheels a little bit. So if you could keep, I know you don't like it very much, but if you could keep Alchemist busy,
Yeah, I'll keep him busy.
I'll get back to you. And you see her turn around, walk out the door. Of course, the door glows bright for a second and then nothing.
Well, anyways, he says we're looking in like a little thing to see what's going on. Oh, well, this seems like a perfect time for me to interrupt. He says, well, walking off.
So I bring the camera back down to Drac
Drac is
and the
finishing
party.
up the meal, and he looks
Yep.
at his wrist, and he just sees a little blinking light on his wrist. Huh, wonder where that would turn on.
And it's giving weird coordinates.
Well, that's not right. The
Like the coordinates originally gave it was stationary, and now the coordinates are moving too fast for your eyes to keep up.
Well, what?
Whoa.
He's like now intently looking at his wrist.
What's the problem, Drac?
My dimensional tracker that I lost a couple of weeks ago is now become active, and it's saying that it's on the move. Remember that he says very, regrettably, remember that device that I tried to...
Yeah, you had 3 of them, and 1 got taken, and then the other 2 got taken later?
Yes, I planted a tracker on them just in case someone decided to be bold enough to take them.
Well, guess what? Someone was bold enough.
I'm aware, yes. He says, just so that I know where they are, because that stuff is very dangerous. I mean, even more dangerous than he holds up the crystal that from Moogie of the scale, and he says, if this was the power source, that stuff is twice as potent as this.
Ugh. Well, either way, probably not a big deal.
While you two are having this conversation, do you hear from the bottom of the yogurt cup a very delicate burp?
Damn.
Drakathia reaches over and pulls the little pixie out and just sits
you
it
eat
on
all
a
of that?
towel. Sits it on
Of
like
course
a
I did.
napkin.
I like this kind of yogurt.
And there's like a
Damn.
giant belly on the
Ah,
pixie.
Yep.
Ugh. Just Alderman looks at, just goes, eh. I didn't even see that.
It's like her face is so covered in yogurt, which is
Yep.
not quite.
She's
Damn.
sitting
Yep,
on like
yep,
a paper towel or a
Yep,
paper
yep.
napkin.
Meanwhile, I'm gonna move over to our good friend Moogie.
Mhm.
You're just sitting there, and then you start hearing very quiet ticking, like a clock. And it
I
gets.
will be back in a moment.
Mm-hmm. Where are you going, Moog?
He walks out of the dining hall and into the hallway.
There he goes. As you're walking, it gets slightly louder and faster. And then everything goes black and white. Cat, please. My cat just wanted out. I had to lean weirdly. But anyways, everything stops. And you just hear walking behind you.
Now, this is
Oh.
a form that Dark Matter has not seen, so he doesn't quite know this is Moogie.
Yeah.
No,
that's
he
true.
can sense your soul. It's not that hard. He can at least approximate. Goes, Moogie, I'm pretty sure.
Moogie flares his wings open and turns.
Nice look for you. Which is better. I heard you.
Roll
on-
a dexterity saving throw.
Uh-oh.
I don't have rolls for him, but he'll.
You could
Okay.
just say that he avoids the blow because he is
Yeah.
a god.
He pretty much avoids it.
Oh, he's not punching you.
Yeah.
He's grabbing you.
Well, you grab him. Goes, oh. So?
And he pins you to the wall.
Rude. He doesn't seem phased.
Rude. You're
Mhm.
calling me rude after the bullshit that you pulled?
Like what? What did I do?
We were in an all or nothing death battle, and we called out to you for help, and you ignored us.
Busy. Lady Mary wanted something from me, and I had to answer.
Aya nearly died as a result.
You know, it was not of time. I was busy with Lady Mary, and I could not have answered.
You could have taken 2 seconds out of your infinite time, you clockwork maniac, and to answer our call. But you didn't. Of course not. You're that one god of some other dimension who doesn't give a damn about the life forms that are beneath him, do you?
Whoa, that's a little bit of a jump of thought. Give me a second. He says, well, he just quickly moves out of your grip, and the clothing you're holding on to quickly turns into black stuff as the part that was ripped off just replaces itself. Let me show you something.
No,
is what-
I'm not going to be persuaded by your tricks anymore.
No. You think I'm soulless, correct? Let me...
Why else wouldn't you be like the way you are?
I am struggling, Moogie. Struggling. You don't understand my situation. And you don't understand how hard it is to take track of all of this. He says, well, everything, like, basically all the environment fades away. And you just see, it's just a lot of things. A lot of contract stuff. Now, that is one thing. But, lately, another thing that took up my time was dealing with one missed contract that made me think. He says, well, like looking at something in his hand. And I'm not gonna really tell you, but I had to deal with something that made me think. Don't you dare say I don't care. I do feel bad that I couldn't show up. But also, what I'm doing in the background is just as important. So Moot, please be reasonable. I
Reasonable?
cannot
You
be
want
everywhere.
me to be reasonable?
Yes, reasonable.
Aren't you the one who took charge of Aldwin? Aren't you the one that said you would be his patron when he needed you?
Well, it was a deal I made with Arth, yes, correct.
And didn't you say you would be there for him in his time of need, when his need was greatest? That includes him on the verge of death?
Well,
Like
yes,
we
yes.
were in that moment when I called out to you?
It took me a moment, damn it!
For you, a moment is not infinite. For you, a moment is mere seconds compared to us lesser
I
beings.
didn't have the time to put a defense on him. I have it now.
I'm disgusted with you, Dark Matter. You made a promise and you broke it.
Yes, I have broke a promise. What do you think this is? He says, wiggling around a contract. I failed someone. They wanted me to protect thousands of people. He says, well, like, kind of giving you a visual. And I failed because I was helping Lady Mary. I didn't just fail you, I failed a lot of people, even in my own damn world. And I tried to help my sister, and I failed too. So guess what? You think that doesn't gnaw at me? He says, well, like, you see his arms starting to get, like, darker and darker. And he's starting to, like, get a little drippy. His form is kind of losing. I try. I have been misguided for a long time and abandoned. And now I have a chance. Don't you dare think I am not trying. I'm
I never
aware.
said you weren't trying. I said you weren't there when you were needed. You could have sent one of your temporary creatures to help us.
Yes. And two of them went without my own permission to go and do something. And look at Diver. Don't care about him that much, but look at him.
What happened to Diver?
Look at him. Your sister obliterated him. He says, well, like, showing, like, a clip of what happened.
She did that?
Yes! She obliterated him, and I have to regenerate him now. He's still regenerating. And all he tried to do is help. He even got one of my favorite killers, Hunter, into it.
I see. This is a lot worse than I thought it was.
This was, of course, before when our little friend Rags was in danger, and he tried. But of course, as Diver being one of my weakest and the most disloyal, as he has morals, has got himself killed.
I didn't know it was this bad. No one told me it had gotten this far.
It's... all I can say is that things are stressful.
About that time, Dark Matter and Moogie,
Mhm.
a white light
Mhm.
flashes. And Dark Matter, there's your sister.
Oh, sis. Howdy.
I have been listening. Hello, Moogie. You are Moogie. I thought you were a goblin.
Goblin, demon, Azamar, demigod. I have many forms. This is only the latest one.
Right. Dark Matter says that he failed me. And in a way, yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
But he is my brother. She looks over at you, Dark Matter.
Yes, I says.
I also heard your conversation with a certain pixie.
Were you seriously listening in on that conversation?
I did not say anything. I figured that that was inappropriate. But I was listening.
So eavesdropping isn't inappropriate. Is that what I'm hearing from you?
And she gets a non-committal shrug.
I see. So a planar being who doesn't want to show herself but will freely sit there and listen to someone else's conversation is more than happy to claim one thing's not inappropriate, but everything else is. Okay.
I never said not everything is inappropriate. You're putting words in my mouth.
Regardless, what do you want?
What are you planning to do about your sister?
Darkmire looks at you as well, so now you're being looked at too.
Put her out of her misery.
So you're
Let her
planning to kill.
soul be reformed.
So you're
by the
planning to
god.
kill. So you're planning to kill her.
If it comes to that, yes. There's no way to break her out of the darkness that she's consumed by. I'll have to end her existence and let the gods reform her. It's the only solution there is that I can.
There is another solution.
Then by
we
all
give-
means, sweetheart, tell me.
You're. What was her name, brother?
His sister?
No, not his sister. The one that you've been
Lady
consorting
Mary?
with. Yes, her.
Ah, yes.
Yes, her.
What about her?
I do believe that this Lady Mary gave you the solution to your problem. You're just too blind to see it.
Mm-hmm.
She is looking very cold at you, Moogie. Very cold eyes. Moogie?
And what is this solution that she gave me?
Why, the staff.
Yeah,
What
I was wondering
staff?
why you were toting that thing around.
Hang on.
I did not know that my sister had a staff.
Yes. That staff that Lady Mary handed you.
This thing? Darkmire says we're pulling it out.
I
out of
was
the
never
bag.
given a staff by Lady Mary. She turned me into this thing and then disappeared.
Did.
Hmm?
That was 3 weeks ago. I gave you a staff.
Yeah, that is a thing. I remember that.
I gave you a staff.
I don't remember it.
Come on, man. We're both saying you
Is
did.
it in my DMs?
No, we role played it 3 weeks ago before we went on break.
I have been out of commission for 3 weeks. I don't remember.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, that's fair.
That's
I
fair.
do
That is fair.
remember it.
She nonchalantly points to, well, now Darkmire has it for some weird reason.
He pulled it out to show
Yeah,
that's there.
that staff. The
Yes.
staff of hope and family.
This thing feels weird to hold. He says while squinting at it.
Why does that thing look more evil than it should be?
That's because Dark Matter is holding it.
Yes, it changes depending who's holding it, I imagine.
Well,
Here,
hand it here then.
Okay, here. He says we're handing it to you.
And as soon as you touch it, Moogie, you feel an aura come over you from the top of your head to the bottom of your toes.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's the protection from good, evil, and good. Which means basically you're protected from influences.
This is certainly interesting.
You give that staff to your sister, and she will break free of what's controlling her. And
Does it
by the
also
way,
count if I hit her with it?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, if you want to go the Rafiki route,
Why do I know what you mean by that phrase?
you know.
because now that Dark Matter has held on to it, and I am his sister, and we're of equal strength, as it were,
Hmm.
it now has my blessing.
And what is your blessing?
My blessing, dear Mookie, is that you will know the exact. Yes! You
Yeah.
will know the exact time to give that to your sister. Not a moment before, and not a moment after.
I guess I get to bonk my sister one last time then.
Oh, please, bonk away. I've always enjoyed that.
It's
I
entertaining.
too enjoy a good bonking.
Yes.
Very well. I will
And
give
she.
my sister a second chance.
Good. She looks at Dark Manor. Dark Manor,
Hmm.
my dear brother.
Yes. Yes, that's...
We are family. And even though you did fail me, I am willing to forgive you.
He kind of looks at her, a little surprised. Oh. Well,
Before we end this little conversation topic of ours, on this brotherly love going around,
mhm.
Dark Matter,
Yes.
I hope you do realize that I'm going to bonk you again next time. So just be aware of that.
Mm.
Oh, and it's not, and you're not going to see it coming either. I'll make sure to hide it from your all-seeing black eye.
Well, it's more of a watch, but you know.
I'll have Lady Mary hide my presence from you, if necessary.
You could go ahead and try. I
Dear,
believe you will.
dear brother,
Yes. Was it
you
not?
deserve the bonking too.
I think everyone
As a
deserves
matter of
it.
fact, I won't wait. He just smacks him with a stab across the back of the head.
Bonk.
Ah. Oh, thank God this is an avatar and it doesn't hurt as bad. Ow. Well, that hurt. All of a sudden, Fleshlight comes out of nowhere. Ah! I didn't know you brought him.
Okay.
So you're just like babysitting him? Nice.
Oh
Alright.
Lord. By
Well-
the way, Mookie, my name is Nira. Nira.
Yes, I can spell.
Well, it's making sure everybody else knew how to spell that word.
Nira. That's a cool name, Fleshlight says.
Oh,
Just
is
like-
Flechette also here?
Yeah, I like the idea that he was a toad along, like
Excuse
he's
me.
like a child.
Hmm.
Wait, did you stitch his mask together?
I do believe I did.
I
I
don't.
like Flechette.
You don't want to split?
I prefer him not. He's more fun this way.
I wouldn't want to split. It.
And she kind of puts her fingers up to her nose and goes,
Meanwhile, Dracathio is in the still eating and like full to his stomach, and he looks over at like the empty seat where Moogie's sitting and says, "The bathroom doesn't take that long, does it?"
I don't know.
Mm.
But I like the Dark Matter's like, if Flechette split, he would go to whatever. What do they call it? Jester Heaven? I don't want to go there. That's where your brother is. I don't want to go to where my brother is.
yeah, Nero looks at you, Dark Matter. Well, I must go. We'll talk later. And a bright light finishes and
Wait,
She's
wait,
no
don't
longer
go
there.
without me! Right to the-
and the light goes out. Flechette is also gone.
Looks back to Moogie. Is Mag here? Why do I feel like he walked away?
No, I didn't. I'm here.
Okay.
But I do have to go here shortly.
Well, that was the thing. Well, anyways, you're gonna be off your way now. Let's see if anything else
Yes.
to say.
Goodbye, Dark Matter.
Yep, I'll probably see you again, and if I don't, that'll be too soon. He says, well, snapping his fingers, and he just back in the hallway.
Crazy clockwork weasel.
You like her sister, like his sister, though.
His sister's not a crazy clockwork weasel.
That's true. So what are you gonna do now, Moogie?
He pushes the door open to the banquet hall.
Oh, hi. What took you so long?
I had a little conversation with a certain someone.
Oh.
Apologies for making you all wait.
Drakathia looks up and says, "Oh, I thought you were taking, like, the world's longest. Never mind."
You
We'll
say
discuss
that.
that later, Drac.
Nope, not gonna say anything. Nope.
Drakathia just goes back to eating his
He sits back down at the
His-
chair.
his ice cream.
Oh, is it ice cream? Okay.
It's chocolate ice cream, yes.
I'll take some more of that giant bird in the middle of the table. I'm starving.
He reaches over the now sleeping
Pixie,
Gabrielle,
yep.
Pixie,
Yeah.
who's now sitting on a, like, wrapped up in a in like a napkin, just sleeping on like a pillow of just bread.
And she has the hugest smile and as you're treated to dreams of rainbows and unicorns and
Yogurt.
And
yogurt.
waves of yogurt crashing on a sugar beach.
Aldwin leans in his chair and goes,
Yogurt
hey.
ocean.
Aldwin goes, hey, who wants, does anyone want some music? He says, we'll playing on his lute. In a very light strum.
Drakathia says,
I
as
haven't
long
had
as
time
it
to
doesn't,
play.
as long as it doesn't shock us.
No.
Chuckles.
Anyone have any music recommendations?
He pulls out like a list of like from his wrist, and he says, "How about this one?" He just kind of flicks the hologram over to you. It's
Ooh.
like the musical notes.
Oh, I know this one. I used to play this all the time when I used to live in Anthem. He said,
And
Okay.
as the scene
you hear the music.
of sleeping pixies and people generally having a good time, the iris closes on this scene. And that is where we're going to end today's episode. For next time we arrive in Anthem.
Everyone, take a deep bow.
Thank you, and thank you, and thank you.
I'm taking a bow if you can see me.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on Realms of Awakened Essence, Season 8, Episode 13, The Beginning to the End. And yes, it is a beginning to a very glorious end for Acerak.
Well,
And let's go around the table.
Let us start with our departing of Azamar.
Yes, please.
Hello, everybody. I am Mag, and I play Moogie, the Azamar. I want to thank you guys for joining. I unfortunately do have to leave to go take care of business, but I thank you guys for coming. You guys are wonderful, and everybody else in the party is wonderful. I'm gonna throw the microphone at the dwarf who's right next to me, and hopefully I'm gonna hit him in the head.
Throw it hard.
Ow. Hi. I guess this is now a thing. So,
Like throwing.
I am Drakathio Vergath, your resident werewolf dwarf. And next time, don't throw it that hard, please. It hurt. And
He already left the studio.
Did you see the comment in chat?
yes, I fixed it.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going. Sorry.
So, yes, I'm your resident werewolf dwarf, and it was a good time, and I hope everyone enjoyed the banquet. And I'm gonna hand it off to our resident doctor.
all right.
That way.
Hand it to
And
him.
here we go.
Dr. Vess, played by Chris, otherwise known as By3. attended by Gabrielle.
That's me. Oh, wait a minute, I'm asleep.
The yogurt loving, swooning sprite.
Yep. Yep.
I will give her more yogurt.
Yeah. I'll pass it upward.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
asleep. Go ahead.
I am Gearbox. I played Oldwin, Hearth, Dark Matter, and also the guest appearance of Alchemist. Yes! Yes! No, Alchemist, put down the mic. It's mine! Well, anyways, now we send it off to the DM. Here we go.
Hello, I am your wonderful dungeon master. I played Aya, Rag, Shazon, the wonderful Amy, who is being very creepy, and some unknown thing that was shooting at you guys. I also played the newest creation of Dark Matter's sister, Nira.
Yeah, quick name.
Thank you. And I have enjoyed doing this. This is our first game back from the new year. I hope all of you have had a great present day. And a happy new year. And I believe next week is Shores.
Yeah,
Yes.
Shores returns with a splash.
a splash heading right to. Oh, well, what are we? What's that
Britland.
technology music?
But now listen, Britland.
Yes? Wrong set again.
Wrong set.
Yeah, that's like set 2. Oh, set 2. Oh.
Yeah, set 2.
I walked into the wrong place again. Ah, jeez, everything looks the same.
Yeah,
Yes.
we really need to change that.
Yeah.
Number these things, damn it.
We
All right.
did.
Yes, but I think Flechette, stop swapping the signs out there.
But I want to. It's funny.
Well, without further ado, can we just go around really quickly and say one thing that everyone's excited for Season 9 before we close out?
New adventures and new characters. That's 2. Well, I have 2 characters, so yeah.
New mysterious backstory.
Yeah.
Yes. Brack?
Playing a new character that I've never played before or a new class.
I'm excited to finally start with a fresh set of characters again.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to enjoy DMing that for you. I've been looking forward to this for a while, and I am currently doing work for you guys' first adventure. When we actually get to that point, I am working on that. I've got lots of work. Oh,
Cool.
my brain is all
Yeah.
about Twitter.
Well, anyways,
Yep.
Now we have
Also,
to say
speaking about
goodbye.
Twitter, stay
Yeah.
tuned to our brand new Twitter feed, Realms RPG at Realms RPG, where you can catch up on all the amazing things that are happening right here on Realms, and you may see a special couple of things coming out in a couple of weeks regarding our new characters for Season 9, aka Campaign 2. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on Realms, and we'll see you next time. Be empowered to play. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Sun is coming up, are you ready to go? We can take a ride, we can take it slow. Your will is my law, I'ma let you be the boss, 'cause I'll go where you go. I'll take you to a place we can see it all. Step off the edge, I can break your fall. Your will is my law, I'ma let you be the boss, 'cause I'll go where you go. When you fall down, I'll get you back up again. The things you tried homebound. We are kings of the world. We are kings of the world. And anywhere it's homebound, we are kings of the world.